Lisa Brady. Late word of a stabbing attack at the University of Texas Austin campus. County EMS officials have early reports of 1 death, 3 injuries. Campus police do have a suspect in custody. At least 1 gunman still on the loose in Dallas, where a paramedic was shot and critically injured.
The initial reports heard on police scanners is that fire rescue teams were responding to a call of a self-inflicted gunshot wound, but the crew started being shot at when arriving on scene.
Fox Radio's Evan Brown, they haven't ruled out a second suspect. San Diego police say a breakup is what prompted the deadly shooting rampage at a pool party. Fox Radio's Jessica Rosenthal with this live.
Lisa, witnesses say 49-year-old Peter Sellis seemed to be casually sitting near the pool at an apartment complex in La Jolla before he opened fire. 7 people were shot. 1 woman died. The other 6 are expected to survive. Police Chief Shelley Zimmerman says they think he was upset over breaking up with a girlfriend.
Sellis stayed on the phone talking to his ex-girlfriend as he continued to fire his weapon. It is apparent that Sellis wanted his ex-girlfriend to listen in as he carried out his rampage.
When police arrived, Zimmerman said Sellis shot at them. They returned fire, killing him. Lisa.
Thanks, Jessica. To deal with the nuclear threat from North Korea, President Trump isn't ruling anything out, including military action or direct talks with the North Korean leader.
The president understands the threat that North Korea poses, and he will do whatever is necessary under the right circumstances to protect our country from the threat that they pose.
White House spokesman Sean Spicer, the president also acknowledging the danger for U.S. troops in South Korea.
Nobody's safe. I mean, who's safe? The guy's got nuclear weapons.
That interview airs tonight on the Fox News Specialists as part of a new lineup beginning at 5 Eastern. You're listening to Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
ADT presents What to Consider When Considering Home Security. An ADT sign is more than a sign. It's a line in the sand. On one side, your family. On the other, an uncertain world.
For over 140 years, more people have chosen ADT to help prevent crime than anyone else. Get ADT starting at just $28.99 a month.
Tested, trusted, proven ADT.
With 36-month contract for licensing and terms and conditions, visit ADT.com.
Ready for a new tractor? At LS Tractor, we'll be the first to tell you to shop and compare. That's right, shop our competition. We're that confident that the LS Tractor combination of more standard features, better performance, competitive price, and proven commitment to customer satisfaction deliver value that's unequaled by another tractor. Period. Want more tractor for your money? Look around. You'll see there's one that gives it to you. LS Tractor. Excel in your field. Learn more at lstractorusa.com.
The Pentagon just out with a report showing fewer sexual assault cases in the military overall, but a higher percentage being reported. 1 in 3 making formal reports. That's up from 1 in 4.
More service members than ever before are connecting with care and support aimed at restoring their lives. We see this as encouraging signs that many of our efforts are working as intended.
Ann Burkhart is director of the Defense Department's Sexual Assault and Prevention Response Office, which says more still needs to be done to lower the numbers. May Day rallies for workers' rights around the world and in some U.S. cities. Protests against President Trump's policies.
The people united will never be defeated is the chant in Union Park in Chicago, perhaps an appropriate place for May Day. Chicago, the place where the modern May Day movement really started with the Haymarket riot back in 1886. Downtown Chicago, everything from immigrant rights to a $15 minimum wage on the agenda.
Fox Business Network's Jeff Flock. In some cities around the globe, police had to break out tear gas. Protests turned violent at one point in Paris. A hacker holding some TV shows for ransom.
An internet hacker has followed through on his promise to leak the 5th season of Netflix's Orange is the New Black online over the weekend. The hacker known as the Dark Overlord demanded that Netflix pay up to keep the new season offline until its planned release on June 9th. The cyber thief stole dozens of other shows by hacking into a post-production vendor here in Los Angeles. The hacker claims to be holding high-profile shows up for ransom, including NBC's Celebrity Apprentice, Fox's New Girl, and CBS's NCIS Los Angeles. In Los Angeles, Hillary Vaughn, Fox News.
Mixed finish on Wall Street. The Dow down 27 points, but a record close for the NASDAQ. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News Radio.
Here's your ESPN Radio 3-day forecast brought to you by Chief Bauer. Trust the experts at Chief Bauer Service Experts to keep you comfortable all year long. Might need those heating fixed up this week. Out. Call 866-EXPERTS or visit them online at chiefbauer.com. Tonight, chance of rain, a low of 42. Tuesday, mostly sunny, high 62, low of 39. Wednesday, chance of rain again, high 59, a low of 44. Right now, as Lon said, windy, gusts up to 30 miles an hour, 50 degrees in Champaign-Urbana.
It is the Tay and J Show, ESPN Radio 93.5. Lon Tay, Jeremy Warner's back.
Hello.
Did you have a good week?
It was interesting. It was a learning experience.
This is the first time of traveling, right, with Torin?
I was traveling with Torin and everybody getting sick week of travel.
I'm sorry, but that is maybe at the top of my annoying list is when you finally get a vacation and you actually take a vacation.
Yeah.
And then you get sick. It's like, really?
I'll say this. I'm going to Vegas this weekend for my brother's bachelor party.
That's
so I'll be gone Friday through Sunday. That's going to be a little bit more relaxing.
There you go.
Than this one. And then my wife and I finally are going to get away together.
Good.
To Toronto in July.
Sweet.
That'll be a little bit more relaxing and everything. I love my kid.
Oh, yeah.
But it makes vacationing a little bit different when you have an under 1-year-old.
Oh. It is so funny when you get now I take it for granted because my boys are 10 and 17. So not only can they just kind of occupy themselves with regards to going out on the beach and playing, like Andrew, when we went to Florida, within a day he had a buddy.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Hey, Dad, I'm going to go swim with them."
Or you can just be outside for longer than 15, 20 minutes.
Exactly.
And everything's okay.
And then Lucas is to the point now where he'd rather just sit there on his phone.
Yeah.
So, he'll visit for a while and then he'll head down by the beach and just get on his phone and tweet or do whatever.
Though we did have our first Hooters experience.
Yeah, I saw that.
Did you see this with my
Yes, I saw it.
8-month-old?
I loved it.
And
we did that with both boys.
Yeah, he's 8 months old. But when the waitress came around, blonde, beautiful.
Yeah, of course.
She's like over on the side, kind of stacking shelves of T-shirts. Torin turns around in his high chair and just checks her out for a minute. Just staring straight at her
a kid, Torin.
for a minute. And then we got a picture with her.
I love it.
And here's the thing. I need to give him to some of my single friends. Like Harry, I'm going to give you my 8-month-old baby.
Yep.
Because we took him to Hooters. He took a picture with her and she goes, "Can you send that to my phone?"
You got her number.
And I go,
bam!
Here, text message it to yourself. Because she's like, "I'll give you my number." My wife's sitting right there. So I just go, "Here, just text it to yourself."
Just not
But
worried.
I'm like, this is a nice ploy.
Boom. That is
always talk about
beautiful.
taking babies to the park. Take them to Hooters.
Hey, when both my boys were born, the first thing we'd get to Chicago, and the first thing we would do is we'd get him out of the car, like when Lucas was a baby, get him out of the car, my brother would grab him and head straight to the park.
There you go.
He's like, "Hey, I'll see you guys in about 2 hours." And he'd just walk around.
I want to spend some time with my nephew.
Oh, yeah, right. And women just everywhere are like, "Oh, look at the baby." It's like, yeah, it's my nephew.
Yeah. So there's a lot going on in the sports world last week as well, which kept my vacation a little interesting with Mark Smith. I'll talk about that. I talked about it a little bit with you last week. And as well as the Bears draft. I'm sure you and Carp talked about that.
We didn't touch on it a ton.
Yeah, it's I got a lot of thoughts on Mitch Trubisky. But, Lon, I haven't listened to the interview yet.
Okay.
And I can't wait to do it. But, man, you met Garth Brooks.
That was unbelievable.
He knows your name.
He
or at
knows
least
my
he
name.
did for a couple minutes.
Right.
And then you got to see his show.
It was unbelievable. The weekend was so crazy. And Garth, it was surreal, Jeremy, to sit there and stand. It was a 3-minute interview.
Yeah.
You don't get all day with him. You don't get to be Barbara Walters here and interview him for an hour. But it was a 3-minute interview. And I mean this. He and Trisha Yearwood both seem so down to earth, just honestly nice people. And I think that is the case with Garth.
Whenever you run into somebody that is that nice,
you wonder.
Don't you ever sit there and go, "Yeah, they're probably jerks."
Yeah, right.
Like you just automatically assume, like, that's a show.
He gets back in his bus and he's like, "That guy was a punk."
Yeah, but that's all I hear about Garth.
It's true.
Is that genuinely good dude.
It was unbelievable. And, I asked him a little bit. We talked a little sports, and then I talked a little bit about his music. Again, 3 minutes. But just being able to shake his hand a couple of times and just talk to him, it was just cool. It was really cool. And at the end, I just kind of slapped him on the shoulder. I'm like, "I'll see you Sunday night, man." So then last night was the concert, and, I had great tickets Saturday, but I had to give those up. And we did the play, of course, in Villa Grove. We raised $2,000 for our library, which was so thank you to everyone that came out to that. We had a great time. So last night I sat one row from the top. But, with that, it's probably better because it gets me away so I can sing as loud as I want. Mm-hmm. But it was just awesome, and Garth makes you feel, and I know a lot of musicians do this.
You're the greatest crowd
That's
ever,
exactly
Champagne.
right. That is
Did
exactly
he drop
right.
that?
Oh, yes.
Because he told that to me in Chicago 2.5 years ago.
Well, he said this was better than the Chicago show. No, I'm kidding. But, it's one of those deals where he'd start a song, and then everybody would start singing, and you know the trick. And he would just sit there and smile, and he'd just be like, unbelievable. He's like, how do you guys do this?
No matter how big you get, and he's played Yankee Stadium, he's played all of these places. That's that moment. I mean, that's what you live for if you're a true artist that puts on a live show.
Right.
Like a real live show. You just sit there and all these people singing your songs.
Isn't that cool?
That's got to be the most cool moment.
I get goosebumps thinking about it.
I mean, I would rather like that be my profession than being a professional athlete.
No, I agree.
Because as Carp says, when he goes to a music show, like when he goes to a Dave Matthews Band show, his team wins every night.
That's a great point.
If you're a musician,
great point.
You win every night.
You do, and I asked Garth about that.
I mean, unless like you just absolutely tank.
Unless you bomb.
Even then, you're just going to start again, and you're good.
And you're good to go. And I asked him about that. I said, you had a stint in spring training. Would you have rather been an athlete or a musician? And he basically said it's funny how every musician wants to be an athlete and vice versa. But he said, the one thing with being an athlete, I'd be done by now. My career would be over. He's like, and I get to continue to do this. And he made he chatted last night a little bit. He talked about each show. He's like, man, Friday, it was just, you could just feel it. You could feel it when I got to the arena, how everybody in Champaign was ready to get this thing started. And then he said, the Saturday shows back to back, he said, Saturday night, that crowd just carried me the whole time, because here it's my third show in like 24 hours. Yeah. He's like, that crowd just carried me. And then he paused and he's like, and it's Sunday night. and we're all just, the place just went crazy. He goes, man, Champaign, you get it done.
Yeah.
I genuinely think, and he said this at the press conference, that he really, really loves playing here in Champaign. He's like, I love it. He's like, I love the college atmosphere. Yeah. I love the small town. He's like, I'm from Tulsa, Oklahoma.
And the appreciation of it.
Agree.
Think of the artists that have come here recently.
Oh, man.
I mean, Kevin Eulis said those people at State Farm Center are doing a really, really nice job of selling this arena to artists. You had Lil Wayne here.
Right.
I know that's the complete opposite spectrum of Garth Brooks.
But he'd be so fun
That is
to
one
listen.
of the biggest artists in the world.
Huge.
And you get him here on a college campus. That's huge. Green Day, College Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I mean, they're doing a hell of a job.
They are. They really are.
Big time artists here, and it makes it feel like this is a destination stop again.
I assume Scorpions will be next. I assume
that's what you think of when you think of Lil Wayne, Garth Brooks, Green Day,
Scorpions. And I want
Scorps.
I don't care. I don't use press passes. I don't try to use my name or what I do to get anywhere. If Scorpions comes, I want somebody at Illinois to get me a front row ticket. I want it to be Klaus Meine and I, eye to eye.
Where you at, Timberlake?
Right?
Just saying. Saying Timberlake.
Maybe we don't want him. I mean, maybe it's gotten to that point now where we're just kind of...
Come on.
Yeah, man, it's time for him to tour again.
It would have been great today, because today it's going to be May.
That's true.
Oh, man. Harry loved that one.
Harry did. He was all over that one. No, that was awesome. But no, Garth... It was wonderful. I'm so glad I got to see him again. I'm glad I've seen him twice. The energy level that he brings to a concert, and you've seen him and you know it, is, I don't want to say second to none, but that guy knows how to perform.
Can we say it? I mean, this is an out of shape.
Right.
50-something-year-old man.
That's exactly right.
And he gets into it. He has so much energy. Like, I don't have that much energy.
Nope.
Right? It's amazing, and just, the songs he has. There are so many great songs, whether it's bad. Was there one that stuck out for you?
Well, you know what's funny? My favorite song is Calling Baton Rouge, and I was in the beer line.
Oh, come on!
I'm not kidding you.
That's the best up-tempo one.
It is.
I think Standing Outside the Fire is up there when it comes to live performance.
For some reason,
the river
was
good.
awesome. And for some reason, the song that kind of hit me last night, I don't know why, and it was the song that I really started to get going with, was Shameless. When he sang Shameless. Yeah, because I was just like, oh, you get it, Garth. But everything, Friends in Low Places.
That's what that's about, is like you just get this emotion.
You do. And what's cool about it is the same stinking songs I've heard for 20-some years, and I loved it. I couldn't wait to hear Every one of them.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. And so well done, Garth. Well done, Champaign-Urbana. Well done, State Farm Center. I think it all, and I was shocked how easy it was to get into State Farm Center. If you wanted a beer or something to eat, the crowd wasn't crazy, the lines. But, of course, in a show like that, everybody just sits down and they don't move.
Yeah.
Hardly any. I had to make a calculated effort to go get a beer, and then, boom, I missed calling Baton Rouge.
Think this city, this area, has pulled off a marathon in Garth Brooks.
Unbelievable.
Green Day, all these things. I think that's really cool.
It's fantastic. This is definitely April. No, are we in April or in May now? April was a home run for Champaign-Urbana without a doubt.
And you landed Mark Smith.
Oh, and by the way.
So there you go.
How about that?
You did not land Francesco Bedocci, though, and it's a bit of a surprise. He committed to Virginia last night. If you don't know him, he's a Milan, Italy native that's playing basketball in Kansas the last couple of years. 6'7", really athletic, long, kind of gives Illinois something it hasn't had the last couple of years. Just kind of what you want out of DJ Williams, in that
yes,
you want a defender, you want a guy who's going to attack the glass. But Bedocci kind of would have fit that role, but he's really raw.
Yeah,
he's
right.
He's not going to be a top offensive player for you. But he committed to Virginia last night. Illinois still has 3 scholarships left for next season.
It's interesting when you talk about Bedocci. He's one of those guys that when you watch teams in the Final Four, it seems like they all have that one guy. He's not their star. He's maybe the 7th guy, the second guy off the bench. But he gets you those big rebounds, and he's athletic enough to just make a difference for a few minutes.
Yeah.
And that's why I really wanted him. Wasn't it weird the way he texted out? Didn't he just say
like 10 o'clock at night?
Yeah, and he was like, I guess I'm going to Virginia.
Guess I'm going to Virginia. Guess I'm a Cavalier.
I saw that, and I'm like, did Underwood just say, you know what, we don't want you?
No, that's not the case.
Okay.
I know a lot of people have been speculating that. Illinois thought they had him.
Okay.
And something changed. Whether it was his family would rather have Virginia, which is a great academic school, and hey, Tony Bennett's done a great job. I know Bedocci talked about liking an up-tempo style.
Yeah.
Well, you're not getting that at Virginia.
No.
But when you do think of Virginia, he's a great fit.
He is.
When we talk about defensive lockdown, guys who aren't that great of scorers, Bedocci actually fits really well there. But it seems like his family really liked Virginia there. So this isn't a huge loss. I'm imagining, Lon, today, if they didn't get Mark Smith and then this happens, this would have felt like a much bigger deal.
It totally would have.
Because you're missing. But after landing Mark Smith, this would have been a nice piece.
It would have.
Mark Smith is your number one piece, right? There are definitely still some other guys, athletic guys out there. They just offered the son of Omar Minaya. Remember the former Mets GM?
Yes.
He's another athletic wing.
That's
so
perfect.
There's some guys out there. The biggest need, of course, is in the post.
Right, and we'll see. And there's one guy out there.
What the heck is going on with Jeremiah Tillman?
I have no idea. Somebody asked me, I think it was Saturday. They're like, Lon, just shoot it to me straight. And I'm like, I don't know anything more than you do. I said, but my gut feel is that now that you got Smith.
I don't think Illinois knows.
Nobody knows. It's weird.
The whole recruitment has been very strange.
Reading you and Derek Piper on Illini Inquirer.
And Derek has a little bit up about Jeremiah today. It just sounds like nobody actually knows what's going on. Nothing surprises me with that recruitment.
It's weird.
It's just an odd feel.
And I don't even want to say it's weird.
I know Mom has liked Illinois the entire time, but there's family dynamics there. There's other people in his ear. And that's why, the retweet heard around the world. I think at the time he thought he was still coming to Illinois, and then some other people get in his ear.
Unreal.
And he asked for his release. So I don't think Illinois wants to be. I think Illinois, if Jeremiah wants to be here, would definitely be open to him coming back because he fits exactly what they need, and now he wouldn't have to be carrying the burden of being a savior. He's just a piece.
Good call.
And I think the expectations for Illinois fans are just that, okay, Jeremiah Tillman comes here, but he's not the go-to guy.
Right.
He's not going to be our best player. What he is a Big Ten big man who could be pretty dang good in a couple years, but he also fills an immediate need where he can help around the rim on both sides of the ball.
There's never been a recruit that would fit more perfectly into what you need right now than Jeremiah Tillman. There are. Mark Smith would be perfect. That was really good.
Right now, I guess, yes.
Exactly. But in terms of when you see
I'd
this
rather have
roster
Smith
now,
than Tillman.
Same here.
I know they're small right now, and that's a concern for next year, but getting Mark Smith and the guard talent you have is
going to be
awesome.
fun. It's going to be fun to watch Illinois basketball, and that's what's cool.
Coming up next, though, we're going to talk with Mike Small, Illini golf coach.
Sweet.
I thought it was a rebuilding year.
You know what? He's off my hot seat now. He's off it.
Winning the Big Ten by 16 strokes does it for you?
I decided that I probably ought to get off that little diatribe. So he's in good shape now.
8 Big Ten titles in 9 years.
That guy, Mike Small.
What happened in that other year?
Yeah, right. Well, we're going to break that down with him. No, Mike Small is a guy that, first of all, if you know Mike, and there's plenty of people in this town that know Mike, you know how sincere he is, how nice he is. But that dude is competitive. And when I read some of the quotes about them winning the Big Ten in 8 and 9 years, you know what? He wants 8 and 9 years. I know every coach does, but I think Mike Small takes pride in knowing he's got a dominant Big Ten program going and wants to continue to see that going. The only blip is that NCAA title, and man, if he ever gets that, he might go down as the best coach ever.
I kind of want to ask him, like, winning a Big Ten title.
Ho-hum?
Yeah, is that big of a deal to you anymore?
It seems like it, right?
I mean,
I think it is a big deal to him.
I think he loves that they have this kind of dominance.
Yes.
I wonder what effect this has in the rest of the Big Ten because they're not catching up.
No, they're not.
They're obviously not catching up. So I think for Illinois, this is good experience for this young team. Dylan Meyer wins the Big Ten medalist. We're hoping to have him in studio tomorrow.
Nice.
But Dylan having a heck of a junior season. And him and Nick Hardy are really good. Dylan's had the better year. Nick hasn't been as consistent. But Eduardo Liparelli finished his 8th in this thing. He's been great as a sophomore.
That's awesome.
Michael Figos didn't have a great tournament. He finished 24th, but he's been pretty good as a freshman. And Giovanni Tadiotto, kind of the kid who, the freshman who didn't come in with a lot of expectations, had a heck of a year this year. As Brian Baumgartner, the top 20 freshman, has struggled a little bit, but this is another great coaching job by them. They await their NCAA regional site pairing right now, but they got to finish in the top 5 for that. I think they'll do that. And that's just about what do they do once the NCAA stroke play comes here, and can they advance to the championship round for what, the 6th or 7th straight year, something like that?
And it's in this state, which is really cool. So it feels like everything could be coming together for this program. You mentioned Nick Hardy a little bit. That Dylan's been playing a little better, and that's true. You just look at the stats. But I guarantee you when that NCAA rolls around and stroke play rolls around and stuff, guess what? I'm hanging my
Nick Hardy in match play.
My bag on him. I mean that kid, he's a cold-blooded killer. I can't wait to see him in
It's spring. You got Illinois golf. It's a golf school, right? At least for the time being. We'll catch up with Mike Small, Illini golf coach, coming up next. It's Monday. Mike Claiborne, Cam Watson, the Cardinals broadcast crew. Still 6 weeks away from Flag Day. Right. For Cardinals fans, I think you feel a little bit better about where you stand since the last time we talked with
What
Mike.
have they won? 10 of 12?
9 of 12.
9 of 12. Okay, so, I mean, they kind of got that little bit of a roll back to make you feel a little more comfortable, and now they're in the midst of a nice homestand that they could make some hay on. Yeah. So we'll talk to Mike and see what he thinks and how this team's kind of rounding into shape.
Your St. Louis Blues down 2-1 to the Predators. How do you feel?
Nashville's fast.
They're good.
I got
before the season, a lot of people were projecting them, right?
Yes,
to go pretty far here.
They're good. I mean, Pekka Rinne is good, and they've got so much talent. And PK Subban is unreal. That guy has been
a trade worked out for him.
Yes, he has been the most dominant player on that ice this entire series. And it's funny because yesterday we went to Houlihan's at the iHotel before the Garth concert so I could watch the Blues. And I started just kind of getting upset. And I looked at my mom and I'm like, I know you could care less about hockey, but I said, I'm so tired of the Blues never being the fastest team. Yeah. Now, I'm not a GM in the NHL, and we've got to get a break so we can get Mike Small on.
Illinois basketball not being athletic.
Yeah. It's like if I were a GM of a hockey club, I know there's certain defensemen you want to take, et cetera. Give me speed. Because speed absolutely disrupts everything in hockey, and Nashville has got it right now, and they're flying.
I got a lot of thoughts on Mitchell Trubisky to the Bears, and I've learned something about Bears fans this week that I'll talk about. Okay. Scott Wright, DraftCountdown.com, will recap his thoughts on the draft as an entirety. The 49ers obviously did really well.
They did.
Getting some nice players and getting some picks as well.
It's about time, right? About time for them to start getting good again.
Yeah, we also got drive time at 5:05. If you want to weigh in, you can. You can call the Jupiter's The Crossing phone line or text the Cheap Hour text line at 359-2255. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Just search Tay and J Show. Download the WSJK app. Get our podcasts at ESPNCU.com or find us in iTunes. That's all powered by GTPS Insurance. You can watch us live on YouTube. Just search Tay and J Show. And our intern today, Harry Black. Consistency.
He is here. You know, he missed a couple days last week.
That's okay.
I almost fired him, and then I remembered I can't fire an intern.
And we don't have anybody else.
We don't have anybody else.
Right.
So he's really right where he needs to be. He's got this place in rolling. All right, listen, for the next hour, we're guesting Mike Small, Mike Claiborne, Scott Wright. It's going to be a fun show. Stick around. It's the Tay and J Show.
A catalog of songs that have defined a generation. One of the greatest bands in music history. It's all led up to this. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, the 40th anniversary tour, with very special guest, Joe Walsh. May 10th, 7:30, State Farm Center in Champaign. Tickets are on sale now at statefarmcenter.com. Presented by State Farm Center.
For the last 5 years, Rock's Place in St. Joseph has become the neighborhood sports bar and grill for a lot of folks in the area. Rock's Place is known for their delicious burgers, and they also have great daily food and drink specials. Plus, Rock's has plenty of TVs, so you can keep tabs on the Cubs and Cardinals all summer long. While you're there, press your luck on one of Melody Music's video gaming machines. For delicious food, cold drinks, and good company, make it Rock's Place, 101 North Main Street in St. Joseph. Find them on Facebook. That's ROCHS in St. Joseph.
Hi, I'm Troy Lands from Lands Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, your Trane Comfort Specialist. Right now is a great time to buy a new Trane heating and cooling system from Lands. For a limited time only, we're offering 0% interest for 6 years. That's no interest with equal payments and approved credit for 6 years on any qualifying Trane system. Or, here's another way you can save on a new Trane heating and cooling system from Lands. Trade in your old system. For a limited time, you can get a $1,000 trade-in allowance on any qualifying Trane system. So pick your best deal. No interest for 6 years or a $1,000 trade-in allowance and start saving. Call 1-800-AIR-REPAIR or find us online at landsinc.com. Remember, it's hard to stop a train. I'm Troy Lands, and you can count on my company because you can count on me.
See Lands for program details. Call 888-653-0051 for details about credit costs and terms. Regular APR is 28.99 for newly opened accounts. APR may vary, subject to credit approval.
This is Jimmy John. This Tuesday from 4 to 8 p.m., I'm having a Customer Appreciation Day. You can get a Jimmy John sub for just $1. As much as I'd love to deliver it to you, it's good for in-shop only. This special is available at participating Jimmy John's locations. Hope to see you this Tuesday.
Oh, hey, hi, hello there. It's me, your air conditioner. You can call me AC if you want, but Mr. Conditioner is my dad's name. Okay, listen, you may have noticed that I'm using a lot of energy right now, and that's why you need to call an expert. Yep, the experts can give me a precision tune-up, so you'll save up to 30% on energy bills, and I won't have to work so hard, which is great because I'm about to pass out.
At Chief Bauer Service Experts, save $41 off an AC Precision Tune-Up. Call 866-EXPERTS or visit chiefbauer.com. For expert service guaranteed.
Call 866-EXPERTS.
Don't miss the 48th annual Kappa Kappa Gamma Flower Sale, with net proceeds this year benefiting Cunningham Children's Home. The sale will take place May 4th through the 6th at the Indian Acres Swim Club, 1 Arrow Road in Champaign. The annual sale includes geraniums and many other types of annuals in a variety of colors, patio gardens, hanging baskets, herbs, potted plants, and foliage. Don't miss this sale May 4th from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m., May 5th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., and May 6th from 9 a.m. to noon. It's the 48th annual Kappa Kappa Gamma Flower Sale, May 4th through the 6th at the Indian Acres Swim Club.
Join the Prairie Lands Council for their 2017 Distinguished Citizens Dinner. This year honoring the Atkins family. Wednesday, May 17th at Stone Creek Golf Club. Don't miss this fun evening with heavy hors d'oeuvres and drinks, along with a wonderful program and awards presentation. Tickets for this event honoring 2017 Distinguished Citizens are on sale now. Support Scouting. $250 per person or $400 per couple. Buy tickets today by calling 531-0218. That's 531-0218.
Need new tires? How would you like to save $200 on a set of 4 select Goodyear tires? Right now at CarX Tire and Auto, get up to $200 in savings when you purchase a set of 4 Goodyear tires and use the CarX Drive Card credit card. Your Champaign CarX man has the right tires for your vehicle at any of his 3 convenient locations. And now up to $200 off. Stop in, call, or schedule online at CarX.com.
Don't worry, call the CarX man.
See store for details.
This is Chuck Lee with Provident Financial Group. Are you getting the attention you deserve from your broker? When you partner with Provident, you get an advisor who stays focused on you and your family. We work for you. Contact us today to schedule a consultation. Securities advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network. Find us online at ProvidentFinancialGroupLLC.com.
Provident, partnerships built on trust.
Member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor.
.30, I'm Jeremy Warner with your Sports Center update brought to you by Prairie View Landscaping. Save it to 25% off your 2017 lawn care. Just email mypvdiscount@gmail.com. A rebuilding year for Illini golf? I don't think so. Illini won the Big Ten championship by 16 strokes this weekend. Their third straight Big Ten title, 8th in 9 years. Dylan Meyer became the 7th straight Illini to win individual medalist honors, winning the tournament by 1 stroke. Illini Nick Hardy, Eduardo Liparelli, and Giovanni Tadiotto all placed in the top 10 as well. Illini now await their assignment for the NCAA Regionals. They've won 4 straight of those. Illinois second baseman Michael Massey has been named Big Ten Freshman of the Week. That's the second straight week he's done that. He hit 10 for 19 last week. That included a series win at Minnesota. Softball was canceled yesterday, but they split a pair at Wisconsin. DeJuan Smoot, the only Illini football player to get drafted over the weekend. He went in the 3rd round, 68th overall to Jacksonville, which is owned by Illinois graduate Shad Khan. 6 other Illini signed free agent deals. Carroll Phillips joined Smoot in Jacksonville. Hardy Nickerson signed with the Bengals. Wes Lunt to the Vikings. Rob Bain to the Jets. Justin Hardy and Jamel President both signed with the Texans. NHL, the Blues now face a 2-1 deficit after a 3-1 loss to the Predators last night. Game 4 tomorrow night. Tonight, the Penguins look to take a 3-0 lead on the Capitals. NBA tonight, the Cavaliers and Raptors and Spurs and Rockets tip off their second-round series. On to baseball. The Cardinals playing a little bit better at the moment, and they are in action
against Milwaukee
tonight. Against Milwaukee. Michael Wacha against Zach Davies. White Sox send Dylan Covey against Jason Vargas. The Cubs send Brett Anderson against Vince Velasquez and the Phillies.
How about your White Sox?
Half game out.
Just kind of hanging on. They're just kind of hanging on in the
buyers at the market.
No doubt. You're right. Were you shocked Carroll Phillips not drafted? I will get into that later.
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, we'll talk about that. Of course, it's the Tay and J Show. Lon Tay, Jeremy Warner, Mike Claiborne, KMOX Cardinal broadcast crew coming up top of the hour. We'll ask him about the Cardinals who have won 9 of 12. And then Scott Wright, draftcountdown.com. Visit with Scott at 4:30 about the NFL draft that occurred over the weekend. I think I watched 2 minutes of it.
I watched a lot of it.
I was just so busy, I didn't even have a chance to watch the draft.
I watched a lot of it because I was waiting for Illini to be drafted in the later rounds. And it didn't
develop. Well, another thing did happen over the weekend, and it was just kind of like you just yawn and say, oh, okay, they won another Big Ten title. I kid. It's an unbelievable run that Mike Small's Illini golf team is on, and Mike Small joins us now. Coach, how are you, buddy?
I am good, fellas. How are you? Can you hear me all right? How's our connection?
It sounds good. Listen, congratulations on another Big Ten title. I know the question is always asked, do these get old? I assume they do not.
No. If they do, we got a problem because these are really harder to get than people think. And you saw the excitement in the freshmen on our team when we won yesterday, that the excitement they showed in winning it and being a part of this run, and it's something that if these get old, we need to find something else to do because these are a big deal.
You know, Coach, everyone kind of said going into the season, it's a rebuilding year for Illinois golf, and I always warned, there's a lot of talent there, and we saw Dylan Meyer on display. I mean, we know this kid is really talented, but what have you seen out of him in the last couple tournaments, especially this Big Ten championships?
Well, Dylan's getting better, and that's what we want all our guys to do. When he was a freshman, he was pretty talented, but didn't have a lot to go with it. Didn't understand the game a lot. Didn't understand how he handled different situations. And his growth off the course has been great, pretty steady. So he's putting all that together the last few weeks. And Dylan plays pretty good when he's got a chip on his shoulder. And he still thinks that, and there's been proof to it 3 or 4 weeks ago that. People didn't really quite respect the season he was having, and he's come out and had strung 3 wins together. And when you combine some purpose with talent, we always talk about that. It's a pretty powerful thing. So we try to get our guys to have a purpose in what they do and have a mission statement. And he's kind of taken that mentally to another level. But he's hitting it as good as always. His short game and putting keeps evolving, and he's making some good putts when they matter.
Coach, I want to ask you, you always seem to have a couple of guys that are your leaders on your team. So I guess one of my questions would be, how important is leadership in golf? And number two, how have Nick and Dylan kind of assumed that role and taken over that here on this squad?
Well, you're right. Leadership's important in any organization, and in golf, it's extremely important because we're individuals all trying to come together to play as a team in an individual sport. And but we've always talked about, I think the reason we have some leadership on our team is because I expect all of our guys to have leadership, just not one or two. I believe all of them. And 17 years of coaching, I never had a captain. I never had a captain on our team because I thought that all the players should have captain traits and captain tendencies and ownership in what's going on and keeping everybody accountable and leading by example. So I think if you have the more leadership people you have and the more you expect them to have those qualities, the better chance you have of actually getting it. So Dylan and Nick have done a good job this year as juniors. The last couple of years they didn't have that perceived role, although they had some leadership roles last year as freshmen and sophomores. So the young guys have come up, and I think they've helped Nick and Dylan with that. And but I'd like to think all of our guys have it, Lon. I really would.
Yeah.
We know Michael Fiegels, the freshman's had a really good year. Didn't have the greatest tournament this past weekend. And I know Brian Baumgarten's had some struggles this spring, but in the middle of those two guys, you've had Eduardo Liparelli, the sophomore, really emerged late last year, take a step forward and kind of give you guys some scores you need. And then Giovanni Tadiotto kind of comes in as overseas kid.
No doubt.
You always find these guys, Mike, and you bring them in, and not very heralded. But those two guys specifically, what have they given you on this team?
Well, there's talent there, and they're good kids. I mean, these I've been blessed. I've been 4 international players in almost 17 years, and they've been awesome kids. And they don't understand college golf right when they get here, though. They don't really understand the camaraderie of your own team and what it means to play for a university, and then the rivalries with your conference and nationally, and then how NCAAs are structured. But once they learn that stuff, it takes them a while. But once they learn it, it's powerful for their development, and I think that's what these guys are doing. And Gio is, got in the lineup 2 or 3 weeks ago, started really, playing a part and feeling what team golf is and understanding who our competitors are and kind of how the whole thing works. And he's really latched onto it. So, again, when you put purpose with talent, I think that's the key. And you have to recruit talent. These guys are all talented. We're not miracle workers here, so you have to find that. But then once you put a purpose to it and put a belief and a desire and something that matters to these kids involved with it, I think you can get them to improve. And that's what these guys have done. They've improved. If you're not improving on our team, you're going to get passed eventually. Everybody has to understand that, because we're going to have guys improve. We're going to have guys get better and learn about themselves and the game. And if you're not, you better get with it, because you're going to get lapped.
Coach, every team is different. This one's very young, though it does have some experience, especially with the 3 guys at the top with, Liparelli, Hardy, and Meyer at these kind of tournaments. But as you go in now to the postseason, the NCAA postseason, does this team have any similarities with the past, or just how do you feel about where your team's at going into this NCAA postseason?
Well, Jeremy, I feel a lot better about it after the last 2 or 3 weeks. We haven't played poorly this spring. We blew a couple leads there at the middle of the spring and didn't know how to close off tournaments. The last 2 events we've won. We didn't close this week off as much as I would have liked, but we did close it off and win. So that's a positive. And but this team is different than the teams we've had in the past, and every team is different. I think that's what makes coaching fun, is you get to learn about these kids, and kind of every team's got its own personality. And I think we're zeroing in on this team's personality and how we do things. And I think it's very possible that we can have another run, but it's not a sure thing by any means. I mean, golf is so fleeting. I always say that. Then when you factor in 19 and 20-year-olds with the game of golf, you really don't know what you're getting. That's what's made me proud about this run that we've had over the last 9 or 10 years. Is we've kind of in a very inconsistent sport, we've had consistency, and that's really hard to get. And if we can get some consistency this fall in what we're doing, I think we can make a run. But if we don't, and I tell the guys this all the time, if we don't, and we have days off like we took, maybe yesterday or in some of those other events this spring, you do that in regionals or nationals, the tournament is done. You need to bring it every day and compete every day. And if you don't, That's what weeds teams out in college golf, is you have to bring it every day you play.
Coach, I think we always laugh on our show about macro and micro. And the other day, my son had a tennis match at Atkins, and I was pulling in, and you were working with one of the guys on his putting. And it just struck me, not strange, but it just struck me like, that's interesting that, the individual work you have to do with each of these guys, and you look at the macro of an NCAA coming up and a big postseason tournament, but what do you do micro between now and then with each player? Is it one thing that you work on each player with? Obviously, you don't have to get specific, but are there certain things that you try to do as a coach to dial them in just a little tighter?
Oh, yes. You're always doing that. And you work individually with these guys, and every day could be something different. The confidence could go down in a certain part of their game, putting, chipping, ball flight, driving, whatever it is. You have to manage that. And so, yes, we're working individually on many, many different facets of each of their games, while at the same time trying to get them all to gel at the same time. You have to learn how to do it, but you have to know your personnel and know what makes them tick. And every kid is coached differently. Every kid has different fundamentals. Every kid has a different body and how they swing the club. And then you have to bring all that together under a blanket of how you play as a team. So you micro-coach, like you said, individually with all these different variables and things, and you bring it together as a team, and you have the culture and you have the environment in a team atmosphere to where once you take their individual talents and improve their flaws and build on their strengths, you come together and you gel, like I said, under that blanket of a team, and that's a pretty powerful thing when they all buy into that. But when they're all out doing their own thing but they don't come together under the ceiling of what you want to do as a program, they don't play very well. But what they have to come together after they work on their strengths, and that's what we've done, I think, pretty well over the years.
Right.
Is that they address their individual stuff, but they still play as a team and conduct themselves and compete the way Illini golf is supposed to compete.
The one consistency of this program, Mike, has been you. Yep. And you have taken this program to another level in the Big Ten, to where you've been able to really dominate it for the last almost decade here. Has that forced the rest of the Big Ten to step up its game? I mean, you've been rewarded with the facilities, obviously, that this program should invest into your program.
Sure.
Are you seeing other Big Ten programs? Are they starting to catch up, or are you just still the anomaly here in the Big Ten?
Well, I think there's more similarities in facilities and opportunities and budgets in the Big Ten than people think. I think there's 10 of the schools have buildings similar to ours. A few schools have some awesome golf courses on campus, some of the top in the country. I think it's a very competitive conference. We've obviously stood out in the results nationally. We're probably more of a national program than a lot of the other programs, but they're trying just as hard. And it's something that you have to really be a part of every week to see that it's not a sure thing that we've been winning these things. I mean, sure. We've competed very well. That's why I'm so proud of these kids, because there's no sure thing. But we build facilities with some great private money, with some people that want to come in and help our kids be special. Other schools are doing that same stuff. It comes down to the people you have, and it comes down to the players and the chemistry you have. And I think that's where we've excelled, is that our guys love to compete. And golf is more about competition than it is about technique and about all this other stuff. And we have this mindset. And then when you couple that with the support of the administration and the university and the donors, it's been a pretty powerful run. And, who knows how much longer this will go. Sure. We want it to go on forever, but we know that's not going to happen. And but it's just we're going to ride it out. But I think the Big Ten is closer than people think. We've just been able to capitalize on some of this momentum we've had for a while.
Without a doubt. Well, Mike Small, we do our job. We have you on. We know our listeners love it. They love your program, and sometimes we just kind of forget to just say congratulations, Coach. That's what an honor it is for you and this program. So congrats on another Big Ten title. Good luck going forward. We'll visit with you again soon, buddy.
Thank you, guys. We appreciate what you do. I always say that, and we really, really enjoy representing Illinois and playing for our school and our community. That's what the guys get a kick out of.
Awesome.
it's deeper than just a golf program to us. It's a big deal. So thanks for having us.
Not a problem, buddy. We appreciate it. Mike Small, Illini golf coach. Pretty neat to know you're talking to the best coach in America.
That's what it comes down to, and I'm glad he answered that question like that, because it basically just points back to they got him.
You're right.
That every other Big Ten program, they could have facilities. They don't have Mike Small.
My favorite quote, and there's two guys. I love everybody we talk to. All the Illini coaches are fantastic. We have fun with Dan Hartlib. We joke around with all of them. We love them. Justin Spring, it seems like, and Mike Small always say something during an interview that just really captures it and captures them. And it's not nostalgic by any means, but I loved when he said about his own team, if you don't improve, you're going to get passed on this team. Yeah. That's all he has to say to the guys.
I mean, Brian Bumgardner came in here.
Top 20 recruit.
Top 20 recruit in the country. He's the sixth golfer on this team right now.
Can't get in the rotation.
No.
Varun Chopra. You know, a young man that I watched at Uni High and a wonderful young man and an unbelievable golf game. I saw in person him do things on a golf course. I'm like, that's not even right.
If this team makes the NCAA match play,
yes,
and say advances to the semifinals or even the finals, this would probably be his best coaching job.
I totally agree.
I mean, there is more talent on this team than he's probably ever had.
Yes.
Just pure talent, but how young it is.
They're young.
And it's amazing what he's accomplished.
It is.
Every year, it's just this team at the end of the year finds its stride. We see Tadioto having his best tournament, Lipparelli having one of his best tournaments.
And you know Meyer and
Dylan
Hardy are going to be
Meyer is
there.
killing it.
Yep.
You know, Hardy, he's going to have the big NCAA. And then Fiegels has been their number 3 golfer.
It's unbelievable.
This spring. So
it's unbelievable.
It's just he is the best at what he does. He is the Coach K of what he does.
He really is, and it always points like, because I think I want this stinking title more than anybody. But it always points.
I don't think that's true.
No, that's true. No, except them, maybe. But it is funny how now you look at this, and you're right. You've got 2 juniors. You've got a sophomore. You've got some talented freshmen. You look at it and think, boy, next year could really be their year with seniors and juniors and sophomores. But you know what? This
They're
one
one
is
of the top
shaping
8 teams in the country.
And it's shaping up being right here in the state of Illinois. It would be such a great story. And, Jeremy, if they get there, I think we ought to be there doing our show from that golf course. I think that would be so fun.
I learned something about Bears fans this weekend. I'll talk about that coming up next.
This could be interesting. It is the Tay and J Show.
Guidance, trust, protection, service. It's the mantra of GTPS Insurance. When you work with GTPS, you'll never have to call an 800 number in a different state. You deal with people who live and work in our community and know it's important to your business. GTPS is your local source for business insurance, property, general liability, workers' compensation, and group health insurance, and they'll work with you to formulate the best package for the needs of you and your business. Contact a GTPS insurance agent today at 359-9000 or visit online at gtpsinsurance.com.
The Home Depot has a new idea. Free carpet installation that means free carpet installation. Clearing out furniture? Free. Ripping out old carpet? No charge. Hauling it away? On the house. No hidden fees. Just free installation on carpet $699 or more. The Home Depot. More saving, more doing. Valid on carpet priced $1 or more per square foot. Unique specialty items and requirements may be priced separately. Not valid in all markets. See HomeDepot.com for details. Offer ends June 7th.
Renew, energize, and donate. Join Keller Williams Realty of Champaign, the real estate center of Illinois, for their annual Red Day, Thursday, May 11th, the company's annual day of service dedicated to renewing, energizing, and donating to their local communities. As part of the Red Day effort, Keller Williams Associates will spend the day with See You at Home, building new sheds, painting, light remodeling, and landscaping at multiple locations offered by See You at Home. For more information about Red Day, visit KWChampagneRedDay.com. That's KWChampagneRedDay.com. Go to KWChampagneRedDay.com.
Guidance, trust, protection, service. It's the mantra of GTPS Insurance. When you work with GTPS, you'll never have to call an 800 number in a different state. You deal with people who live and work in our community and know it's important to your business. GTPS is your local source for business insurance, property, general liability, workers' compensation, and group health insurance, and they'll work with you to formulate the best package for the needs of you and your business. Contact a GTPS insurance agent today at 359-9000 or visit online at gtpsinsurance.com.
When you need spends a little too much time in the sun relief.
Yikes. Ow, what the?
Attack of the angry mosquito relief.
Hey, watch this.
Scraped knees.
And an elbow.
Relief. You need new Gold Bond Pain and Itch Relief Cream with lidocaine. Gold Bond has the maximum strength lidocaine available without a prescription and starts working on contact to numb away pain and itch. New Gold Bond with lidocaine. Relief starts now. Use as directed.
Hi, it's Stevie J. Start your day with me along with Diane Ducey, weekday morning 7 to 9, here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
Your business is our business. From appropriate lending strategies to retirement plans for employees, Busey will help navigate your financial challenges. With experience working with a variety of industries, Busey has innovative ideas and proactive solutions to help meet your needs and reach your goals. For a top partner for your bottom line, call 1-800-67-BUSEY or visit Busey.com. Busey, your dream, our promise. Member FDIC.
Coach Mike Ditka is not just talking sports. What will he say next? Hear him here Monday and Friday mornings from 7:30 to 8 with Brother Johnny and me, Stevie J, on ESPN Radio 93.5.
I think when we look at this and you just kind of go back, fortunately in New Orleans, I had the opportunity to be with Drew Brees, and, Fox kind of had the same thing with Peyton in Denver. So I think one thing that's obvious, guys, and especially when you lived it, is you're never going to be great in this league if you don't have that position right. And so that was a commitment for us this offseason to improve that position. And quite honestly, it's been way too long, since this franchise has been in that position to get good, consistent play from the quarterback. So, we felt like, adding Mike Glennon in free agency and now taking Mitch in the draft, we put ourselves in a really good position to be successful at that position.
Well, you spent a lot of money on Mike Glennon. You spent some draft picks on Mitchell Trubisky.
Yep.
It's amazing what NFL teams will do to find a quarterback. It's truly what you have to do if you want to win. It's the Tay and J Show. Lon Tay, Jeremy Werner. I'm going to give you the mic. I want to hear what
did you think when they took Mitch Trubisky?
Do you want me to be honest?
Yeah.
I loved it. I loved the Bears doing that. And here's why. Here's how I had to do this so that I could come in and talk about it. I put myself that was the Cardinals. So I said, okay, if this were the Arizona Cardinals.
You are going right to my point, Lon.
Okay.
And let me get to this. Because Bears fans, for most of their entire unless you are alive in 1950 to see the last year of Sid Luckman.
Right.
You've never had a great quarterback.
Nope.
Never had a great quarterback. That's why throughout this process, Lon, you've asked me, would they take a quarterback at 3? I said, if they think there is a franchise quarterback here.
Correct.
Take him.
Yep.
Because you could add Jamal Adams, and I love him.
Sure.
Good pick by the Jets at 6. Is Eric Berry leading the Chiefs to a Super Bowl?
Not at all.
No, he's not.
Not at all.
Solomon Thomas.
Yep.
Nice player. Richard Seymour was not the reason the Patriots won Super Bowls.
Ryan Russillo said it today. The Dolphins took Jake Long.
Jake Long
instead
of
Matt Ryan.
And Jake Long was
he was a great player.
More solid prospect. You knew he was going to be good. He had some injuries that kept him from being really, really good. So, I understood that. That was a good player, and the Bears could have laid up and tried to hit a double.
No doubt.
With Jamal Adams. I
did too.
That they went quarterback. He felt so strongly about Trubisky that he took him.
Agree.
And I know there's a lot of fans like, well, why did they trade up? It is maybe a really good possibility that Trubisky would have been there at 3. And Ryan Pace has kind of admitted that.
Yeah.
But he was getting calls from teams at 3 that wanted to trade up to get Trubisky. And even if he thought there was a 20% chance
that somebody was going to trade up to 2.
Somebody's going to take my guy.
Yep.
This is a guy I think is going to be our Matt Ryan.
I love it.
Or even our Phillip Rivers. Right. Or even at best, one of the elite guy, top 2 guys, future Hall of Famer. You got to go get him.
You do.
And I like that he's willing to fall on the sword, or even if this doesn't work,
right.
This is a guy that he is convinced is that kind of player. If he's convinced, doesn't matter what I think of Trubisky. Doesn't matter what you think of Trubisky fans, because guess what? You didn't watch him.
No.
I watched one game of Trubisky, and that's because I covered Illinois, North Carolina.
Exactly.
I know, Deshaun Watson I felt a little more comfortable with because I watched him a little bit more. Cleveland didn't take him at 12.
That's
now
interesting.
Houston traded up and got him at 12. But Cleveland, that needs a quarterback, didn't take him at 12. They were interested in Trubisky. And Cleveland was one of the teams Pace talked to about trading up to 3.
Okay.
So, yes, you gave up a couple third-round picks. You gave up a fourth-round pick. That's a lot for a team that has a lot of needs.
It is.
You know what? It doesn't matter unless you have the quarterback. This could end up being a terrible trade for the Bears. This could end up being the end of Ryan Pace's career. But if you're a Bears fan, why are you scared of going for a quarterback? Of going all in? Like, do you want to be the Chiefs?
Right.
Do you want to be the Cardinals?
Exactly.
No, you don't. You want to be the
exactly
Packers.
Right.
You want to be the Steelers. You want to be the Patriots, and they all have elite quarterbacks.
They do.
I don't want to be a team that just gets I don't want to be Houston. And look what Houston's getting desperate. They trade 2 first-round picks to get the shot at Deshaun Watson. I love that fit for him.
Sure.
But that could blow up in their faces, right? But that's, there are better, maybe more solid prospects like Jamal Adams, is going to be a good NFL player. Solomon Thomas, is going to be a good NFL player. If Mitch Trubisky is a very, very good quarterback, he is so much more valuable than the rest of those guys. And the Bears have never had a great quarterback. And it doesn't matter unless you have him. It is the exception to the rule that you can win a Super Bowl without a great quarterback.
You're exactly
right.
You
can name off the 85 Bears. That's the best defense we've ever seen.
Yes.
Right? The best defense we've ever seen.
Yes.
The Ravens, best defense we've ever seen. The Denver Broncos, they won. They also had Peyton Manning. That was a pretty good player for most of his career. So it doesn't matter unless you have a quarterback.
Well said.
And unless you thought they were going to win this year, they're not.
No, they're not going to.
But you can't hang your hat on, well, we'll have a high pick next year and we'll get one of those guys. Because you might not have a high pick next year.
Nope.
What if they are better than we expect and they get the 10th pick? You're not getting one of those top quarterbacks.
Then you miss out on them again.
And you're missing out on
That's
them.
correct.
There are very few chances. The Bears have never picked higher in my life than what they did on Thursday.
Is that true?
It's number
Wow.
2.
Wow.
And if you think you have a franchise guy there,
you go get him.
Go get him. I like the conviction. I like the huevos it took to make this kind of move. And I don't care that the rest of the league is leaking out this stuff. If he's convinced that's the quarterback of the future and that he is a franchise guy, go get him.
Amen.
If it doesn't work out, Ryan Pace isn't your GM in 2 or 3 years.
Well, and you said it right there. Ryan Pace is a guy that's doing this for the Bears. It's his job. I get that. But if he wants to stay on longer, the safer pick would have been probably Adams or someone like that to where he can start building. But what he's doing is taking the chance to say, look, we've got Glennon for a year, and then we've got our franchise quarterback for the next 10 years.
And why is everyone obsessed with Mike Glennon?
I don't know.
Like, why are they obsessed with the money he's making this year?
Well, everybody.
You could have spent it somewhere else. The Bears still have $20 million left to spend.
Yeah, they still have a lot of cap.
Right? They went after Stephon Gilmore, the top cornerbacks, the kid who signed with Jacksonville. I don't even know his name.
Right.
Like, they went after those guys, and those guys didn't accept their money. So you can blame that on Ryan Pace.
Right.
But it's not like Mike Glennon's money's taking they needed a quarterback. And they didn't know they were going to get Trubisky. So I don't mind having Mike, and I don't care about his feelings.
Exactly.
Mike Glennon, you got a shot to be the starter.
No doubt.
And if he ends up being great this year, that's a great problem to have.
Then you got to battle the next year. That's exactly right.
2 good quarterback options. That'd be a great problem to have.
I like that you and I both saw this the same because I really did. I just put it in my mind. If I'm Arizona and I don't have a quarterback and my team would do that and take the chance, I would love it. Because
I don't want to be the Chiefs.
Nope. And there's plenty of teams, I guarantee you, after that pick was announced that went, dang it. We wanted Trubinsky.
And even if Trubinsky.
I've said that every time. Trubisky. Mitchell.
It doesn't matter what the rest of if Pace is convinced that's his guy, go get him.
He went and got him.
And he went and got him.
I love it.
It could end up being a terrible deal. And everybody's saying it's terrible. You could end up right.
Yeah.
But I know he only had 13 starts, but read about Marquise Williams in that situation. Trubisky was well talented enough to start
Absolutely.
for 2 or 3 years there. But Marquise Williams was kind of their Juice Williams.
Yep.
I'm excited. I'm excited as a Bears fan after this draft. It could end up blowing up in their face, but I like that he was bold about it.
I do too. You've got your quarterback. That's what it's all about in the NFL. When we come back, Mike Claiborne, KMOX of the Cardinals, and also Scott Wright talking more NFL draft next hour. It is the Tay and J Show.
This is Jimmy John. This Tuesday from 4 to 8 p.m., I'm having a Customer Appreciation Day. You can get a Jimmy John sub for just $1. As much as I'd love to deliver to you, it's good for in-shop only. This special is available at participating Jimmy John's locations. Hope to see you this Tuesday.
Life is full of twists and turns. You can't see the unknown, but you can certainly prepare for it. Pekin Life Insurance Company offers a variety of term and whole life insurance policies that are designed to meet the needs of individuals and their families. Options include transitional life, universal life, preferred whole life, family term life, and many others. Visit PekinInsurance.com or ask your local Pekin Insurance agent about an affordable, beyond the expected life insurance policy that's right for you.
Keep your health in stride by registering to help us celebrate the 10th anniversary of the Kirby Derby. On Saturday, May 6th at 8 a.m., choose from a 5K and 10K run or the 5K walk. There's even a free kids race, team discounts, and early bird registration is going on now. Register online at kirbyderby.org. That's kirbyderby.org. See Facebook for updates and giveaways. Free training programs every Tuesday and Thursdays, beginning March 14th. Have fun, get fit, and feel great. kirbyderby.org.
A catalog of songs that have defined a generation. One of the greatest bands in music history. It's all led up to this. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, the 40th anniversary tour, with very special guest, Joe Walsh. May 10th, 7:30, State Farm Center in Champaign. Tickets are on sale now at statefarmcenter.com. Presented by State Farm Center.
You're listening to WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Live from New York, the Fox Report.
And Lisa Brady. Students at the University of Texas say there was no warning before a man pulled out a knife and started stabbing people on the Austin campus.
The attacker was walking around very calmly. He was just wearing a backpack and everything. He looked like a normal student, so no one had realized really what was happening.
One person was killed, 3 others wounded. Campus police say they do have a suspect in custody. No word yet on any possible motive. In Dallas, a gunman opens fire as police and rescue crews were responding to reports of someone with a self-inflicted gunshot wound. The Dallas Police Union says officers were pinned down when they arrived. A paramedic was shot and is in critical condition. The suspect still on the loose, and police haven't ruled out more than one gunman. New Agriculture Secretary Sonny Perdue visiting a Virginia elementary school to propose greater flexibility in nutrition standards for school meals subsidized by the federal government.
That would roll back a key part of former First Lady Michelle Obama's legacy. Many school nutrition directors have said that some of the current USDA standards are unworkable and have argued for changes, especially to whole grain and sodium requirements.
Fox Radio's John Decker at the White House. President Trump still sounding optimistic about replacing Obamacare.
We have one plan that's been going through. It's been getting better and better and better.
You can hear the president's interview with Fox's Eric Bolling on the Fox News Specialists, part of a new lineup that begins at this hour. Airbnb and HomeAway, 2 companies that sued San Francisco over its rental rules, reach a proposed settlement. Residents who want to list their homes as vacation rentals would have to use a city registration number. The month of May off to a mixed start on Wall Street. The Dow down 27 points, still above 20,900, but a new record close for the NASDAQ at 6091. Fair and balanced.
Looks like some cable and phone companies are trying to sell home security. But when a burglar sees one of their signs in the front yard, what does it say? Oh, wow, this home has 599 channels. Or, oh, these guys have high-speed internet. But the ADT sign, it says, this family trusts the company whose name means security. So beat it. It's no wonder 5 times more people choose ADT to protect their homes.
Learn more at ADT.com and to see licensing and terms and conditions.
Ready for a new tractor? At LS Tractor, we'll be the first to tell you to shop and compare. That's right, shop our competition. We're that confident that the LS Tractor combination of more standard features, better performance, competitive price, and proven commitment to customer satisfaction deliver value that's unequaled by another tractor. Period. Want more tractor for your money? Look around. You'll see there's one that gives it to you. LS Tractor. Excel in your field. Learn more at lstractorusa.com.
A new report finds 17,000 cases of reported sexual assaults of students by students at schools across the U.S. over a 4-year period, kindergarten through grade 12. The Associated Press reviewing state education records and federal crime data. The report says assaults are sometimes mishandled or mischaracterized, and they happen in areas where students are left unsupervised, including bathrooms, hallways, and locker rooms. AP also noting there's no national requirement for schools to track or disclose sexual violence. The San Diego police chief says a breakup is what led to the deadly shooting rampage at a pool party yesterday.
Police say the 49-year-old shooter, Peter Sellis, was desperate and despondent over a recent breakup and called his ex-girlfriend while he was shooting his victims. The shooter was white. All his victims were either black or Hispanic. But police say there is, quote, zero indication that race played any role in the attack.
Fox's Jonathan Hahn. Sellis killed one person, wounded 6 before police killed him. Miles of damage and at least 15 deaths in 5 states from weekend storms, flooding and tornadoes. Canton, Texas, one of the hardest hit areas.
There continues to be a dusk to dawn curfew in the affected areas of the county, excluding the city of Canton, until Wednesday, May the 3rd.
Van Zant County Judge John Kirkpatrick, one of the wounded in Texas, is a 2-year-old in critical condition. It's already been an expensive year for insurance companies. Insured damage from natural disasters estimated at nearly $7 billion just in the first quarter, and most of it from severe storms, including more than 400 tornadoes January through March. That's about double the number in the same period last year. In New York, I'm Lisa Brady on Fox News Radio.
The Bears. You and Harry spent 5 minutes talking.
I do the Jay Cutler trade again.
Yeah.
I love that was bold. They went for it with a young quarterback. Didn't work.
It's easy to look back 5 years later and say that didn't work.
Yeah.
I'm with you. If you don't have a quarterback, you're not going to win in the NFL.
Don't matter. Here's your ESPN Radio 3-day forecast brought to you by Chief Bauer. Trust the experts at Chief Bauer Service Experts to keep you comfortable all year long. Call 866-EXPERTS or visit them online at chiefbauer.com. We could get more rain starting around 4:45, a low of 42 tonight. Should clear up tomorrow. Mostly sunny, high 61, low of 39. That might be the day you want to mow your yards because Wednesday could get an inch of rain. High 59, low of 44. More rain Thursday.
You know, it was 70 degrees in February.
I know.
When I was gone.
Right now, overcast, windy, gusts up to 30 miles an hour, 52 in Champaign-Urbana.
It's the Tay and J Show, ESPN Radio 93.5. Lante, Jeremy Warner. Jeremy gone last week to Florida, and the only thing that happened was Mark Smith said yes to the Illini, and I got a chance to interview Garth Brooks.
And Mitch Trubisky to the Bears.
Just a nice little week for me. Just a decent little week.
Big week. Also a lot of baseball going on.
No
the White
doubt.
Sox were in first place for a while. They're still above 500.
What the heck?
The Cubs lost 2 or 3 in Boston. They're kind of meh.
Yeah.
For them standards right now.
It's weird.
And the Cardinals have won, 9 of 12
They've won 9 of 12, but it's not Flag Day.
That's right.
So Mike Claiborne is going to warn us that we should not get excited or down on your team yet, not until it's Flag Day. We are going to welcome in on the Jupiter's The Crossing phone line, Mike Claiborne, our guy from KMOX Cardinal Broadcast Crew. How are you, Mike?
I'm doing well. I'm just sitting here watching batting practice and waiting on the weather to be a little bit more consistent. It's a little breezy, but I didn't think I'd need 2 sweaters on the 1st of May, but I guess I'm stuck with it.
Here you go. Well, I tell you, you might be a little chilly, but the Cardinals are not. 9 of 12, Mike. What has happened? What has kind of turned around a little bit for this team?
You know what? I just think there's been more concentration, and I'm going to tell you, I'm not really sold on what I've seen so far. I mean, they continue to shoot themselves in the foot. I mean, you look at the games that they've lost. I mean, it's all been because they've done something. I mean, the other team hasn't come out and beat the tar out of them. And, at some point, you got to cut down on the mistakes, man. And they're the mistakes that don't have an error written by your name. These are the mental mistakes that you should be better at. So until they get that figured out, I'm just not sure what kind of team we have.
Mike, what do you think of Jed Jerko and the power he has provided for that lineup, especially with Peralta, with the issues he's had? Jerko has been a pretty dang good acquisition the last couple of years.
Jeremy, don't say anything. Shh, be quiet. We don't want the cat out of the bag. He's swinging the bat well. He's playing some really good third base. Don't wake him up.
How about Matt Carpenter then?
He's starting to come around a little bit. I think Matt Carpenter struggles on whether he wants to be a hitter or a guy that hits for power. And And I think that when he gets in those zones where he's not sure, he puts himself in a really tough spot, and it's hard for him to get out of it.
Mike, you mentioned a minute ago about the mental errors, and one of the things that drives me nuts is base running errors. How can a team, A, be so bad at it, and B, how can they get better at that?
It's concentration. I mean, they haven't changed the rules on how the game is played.
Right.
This is just solely concentration, man. And until these guys start to figure out what they're going to do as far as focus, then they're going to continue to have these problems. And it's a real concern. There's no real excuse. At this point and at this level, they shouldn't be doing this stuff.
No.
This is Little League stuff. And every day it's a different story and it's a different player.
That's the thing that aggravates me. It's not just one serial offender. It just seems like everybody.
Newsflash. By the way, there's a newsflash. Carlos Martinez has dropped the dreads. He's gone back to his natural look.
Good, because the dreads weren't working.
The Cardinals fans have been pretty
upset. Right. Yeah.
The Cardinals fans are pretty upset about that.
He just walked out here, so I just want to let you know he's back to normal.
I love it.
Cardinals fans got pretty upset about that. Like that tipping, like you're tilting your hat a little bit. That upsets the fan base.
We don't
a
like that,
bit.
man.
You know what? They need to get over it. Okay, I think I've never the way people act. It's almost borderline embarrassing sometimes of the things that they get worked up over, and I'm like, relax. And they pick certain guys that they want to pin it on for different reasons. And it's really annoying, and it just really says how shallow some people can be.
The Cardinals' bullpen is the second worst by ERA in the National League, ahead of just the Washington Nationals. What do you make of that group right now? I know Rosenthal gave up a run yesterday, but he's been pretty good back there. But what do you make of that group right now?
I think overusage. I think Matt Bowman was pretty good, but Matt Bowman was pitching almost twice a day at one point, and I think that it's caught up to some of them. You only need one spoke in the wheel to come loose, and then everybody else has to do more. And, you just can't burn guys up like they are. And this is, everybody's talking about, our starting pitching is terrific. Well, you only see in the order twice.
Yeah.
These guys are done by the sixth inning. So, when you just throw your bullpen out every night, it catches up to you. And that's what's happened here. And it only takes one guy to have a bad night or be overused, and that falls on everybody else.
Yeah, it's a domino effect. And the one guy, Mike, and I hate saying this because Lance Lynn has given you some great efforts, but it is true that by the fifth or sixth inning, he's already at 100-some pitches and done. How can you change that?
It's amazing. and I don't know. There's a lot of different reasons. I mean, a lot of guys go for the strikeout. Guys like to nibble. They don't go after hitters like they used to.
Right.
I see more guys go 0-2 to 3-2 than I ever have. And that's what kills you. Nobody has a 12-pitch inning anymore. I mean, it's always 16, 18, 22, and it catches up to you.
Mike Claiborne, our guest, KMOX Cardinal broadcast crew. As always, it's brought to you by Pekin Insurance. Visit PekinInsurance.com. Auto, home, life, commercial, they do it all. Pekin Insurance. Find an agent at PekinInsurance.com. Mike Claiborne, it's good to see Dexter Fowler starting to have some fun, starting to hit. I felt like as soon as, it got a little warmer, I'm like, hey, in due time, Dexter Fowler is going to start coming around. He can be a big cog like he was with the Cubs for this team.
There's no doubt about it, Lon. I think when he's just seeing the ball a little better, and I think one of the issues that came into play about his impact, when he gets on first, Diaz gets a base hit, and he goes from first to third. I mean, he pushes the envelope.
Yes.
And that's what they need. Plus, he's working the pitches, which means Diaz can see better pitches, which means Carpenter's going to take advantage of it. And all of a sudden, you got a pitcher, as we just talked about, have 24 pitches on his arm. He's not out of the first inning.
Right. And that's kind of what you envisioned with this team. Mike, if I could give you one guy, if I could just say you can do one thing to this team to really improve it and make it better, would it be that fourth place hitter? Would that be the thing that would really be perfect for the Cards?
Yeah, you don't have a fourth place hitter. And that's a concern. We don't have anybody in this order that teams say we got to pitch around this guy.
Correct.
And until you have that guy on your team, I think it's going to be hard to beat people.
Mike, there's three guys that I think are very important for this team. At least two I think are very important. What have we learned about Randall Grichuk, Colton Long, and Matt Adams?
Well, let's start with Matt Adams. He's changed his swing. He lost the weight. He just has to play, and he's got to have consistency. He's not the pinch hitter that he was last year so far. But, I think you just have to be patient. With Colton Wong, he's starting to be the guy I think they anticipated him being. His defense has been there. He's come up with some big hits here recently, and I think that he's a guy that you can count on down the stretch. I think Randall Grichuk is an enigma. He's in the top 10 in strikeouts, and he's not going to hit 40 home runs, okay?
No.
So you got a real question mark here on how valuable is he. He's thrown to the wrong base a few times. I mean, I think he's a good player, but, man, they make this guy seem like he's a second coming, and I'm just not sure yet. And I don't think there's any excuses at this point. He's been in the big leagues long enough to know what they're doing to him, and he continues to get himself out. So of those three, I think Grichuk is the guy who I think has got to catch up. Now, that doesn't mean he doesn't have good days, and he can be very effective when he is going well. But, man, he doesn't walk. He doesn't steal bases. He doesn't do anything offensively other than try and hit the ball out of the ballpark. And you got to do a few more things these days. And until he figures that out, I think he's going to be the same guy that we'll be scratching our head about.
Well said.
Mike, if we widen our scope to baseball, just Major League Baseball as a whole, I mean, what stuck out of this first month for you?
Well, I tell you, it was deja vu with how poorly this team played. I mean, they worked really hard in the spring to get some things going, and they looked pretty good. Man, when they said, okay, these games count, they went back to last year. That was so frustrating for so many people. They've got to figure out a way to be more consistent, certainly more consistent at home. Until they do that, then we're going to have a problem.
You know that, Mike Claiborne, we're having some problems, Mike, with the reception, so we're going to try to give you a call right back and visit with Mike just for a couple of more minutes. Mike Claiborne, KMOX Cardinal Broadcast Crew. Let's go ahead and take a quick break. I want to ask Mike about the Blues. Now that they're down 2-1 in this series to Nashville, I want to ask him what he thinks about the Blues turning that around. We'll do a quick one with him. We've got Scott Wright coming up at 4:30. Quick break, Mike Claiborne back. It is the Tay and J Show.
An ESPN Radio Mike and Mike Extra Point.
We saw three quarterbacks who none of us had highly rated get traded for. What team needs a quarterback badly? The Cleveland Browns. And I just do not subscribe to just keep taking him even if you're not sure about him until you hit on one. I don't believe in that at all. And Cleveland didn't do it. They didn't do it. They went with the guy they should in Myles Garrett. They could have had a quarterback. They could have had Deshaun Watson at 12. It's one of those, do you live to regret it, like, the Carson Wentz thing?
Exactly.
We'll see. But for whatever reason, their grade said, we're not taking him here. We're not going to do it. So they traded with Houston. We know the pros and cons of DeShone Kizer, and we'll see where it goes. But I like the fact that they didn't say, we need a quarterback, and we're just taking one of these guys because everybody thinks we should, or you got to have the quarterback, and they stuck with their board.
Hear more from Mike and Mike tomorrow morning on ESPN Radio.
This is Bill's yard, and Bill's a grill master, not a grass expert. Still, he won't let weeds invade his backyard barbecue kingdom. And with Scott's Turf Builder Weed and Feed, Bill's greasy thumb is just as good as a green thumb. Because Scott's Weed Grip formula is twice as effective on dandelions as it used to be. So Bill can clear out weeds, green up his lawn, and hold his spatula high. This is a Scott's yard. Pick up Scott's Weed and Feed today.
At Ferguson, service is our most important part. So if service is the part you're missing from your supply house, come into one of our 600 nationwide locations and let our team help yours. Whether it's tracking down those hard-to-find parts, having your order ready and waiting at our will call, or helping you manage your inventory with our SKU app and online ordering, the edge every trade professional needs is right around the corner. And with Ferguson Pro Plus, you'll earn redeemable points with every online purchase. Come into one of our locations or visit Ferguson.com today.
A catalog of songs that have defined a generation. One of the greatest bands in music history. It's all led up to this. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, the 40th anniversary tour, with very special guest, Joe Walsh. May 10th, 7:30, State Farm Center in Champaign. Tickets are on sale now at StateFarmCenter.com. Presented by State Farm Center.
this is Jimmy John. This Tuesday from 4 to 8 p.m., I'm having a customer appreciation day. You can get a Jimmy John sub for just $1. As much as I'd love to deliver to you, it's good for in-shop only. This special is available at participating Jimmy John's locations. Hope to see you this Tuesday.
150 years. Years full of success and defeat. Research and setbacks. Learning and teaching. The University of Illinois has transformed in numerous ways over the last 150 years, and we want to celebrate. Game Day Spirit Fan Stores is now offering 150th apparel in stores and online. These are available in limited quantities, so visit one of their stores today on Green Street or South Neal in Champaign, or head to GameDaySpirit.com anytime to get your polo, quarter zip, or t-shirts now. Go Illini!
Hi, it's Belinda from Fancy Thrift and Resale Emporium in Villa Grove. And as an entrepreneur, one of my passions is helping other small businesses to succeed. That's why I'm inviting you to our Spring Fanciful Philo Fun Festival and Small Business event on Saturday, May 6th from 1 to 8 p.m. at the Frank Center in Philo. A fun family event where businesses, entertainers, and vendors will showcase what they offer, from chair massages to delectable treats and mini workouts and more. This is a great way to get more information about locally owned businesses, as over 20 small businesses and vendors will be on hand. So mark your calendar now for our Spring Fanciful Philo Fun Festival and Small Business event on Saturday, May 6th from 1 to 8 p.m. at the Frank Center in Philo. Get more details on Facebook. Just search Fancy Thrift and click on events. Again, go to Facebook and search Fancy Thrift.
For the last 5 years, Rock's Place in St. Joseph has become the neighborhood sports bar and grill for a lot of folks in the area. Rock's Place is known for their delicious burgers, and they also have great daily food and drink specials. Plus, Rock's has plenty of TVs, so you can keep tabs on the Cubs and Cardinals all summer long. While you're there, press your luck on one of Melody Music's video gaming machines. For delicious food, cold drinks, and good company, make it Rock's Place, 101 North Main Street in St. Joseph. Find them on Facebook. That's ROCHS in St. Joseph.
Hey Cardinals fans, the San Francisco Giants are coming to St. Louis the weekend of May 19th, 20th, and 21st. That weekend is loaded with great giveaways. Friday night, it's the adult 1987 red mesh batting practice jersey. Saturday, the Purina Cardinals Pet Bowl. And Sunday, the adult rhinestone cap. That's May 19th, 20th, and 21st. The Cards and Giants. Tickets available at cardinals.com/promotions. There's only one Cardinals baseball.
It's hard to believe, but it's been 30 years since I was part of the National League champion St. Louis Cardinals of 1987. Hey fans, Ricky Horton here to celebrate that team on Friday, May 19th, when the Cardinals face the Giants. It's the 1987 red mesh batting practice jersey giveaway. 30,000 fans 16 and older can warm up like the pros with this 1987 BP jersey. It's an item you don't want to miss. Tickets are available at cardinals.com/promotions. There's only one Cardinals baseball.
Coach Mike Ditka is not just talking sports. What will he say next? Hear him here Monday and Friday mornings from 7:30 to 8 with Brother Johnny and me, Stevie J, on ESPN Radio 93.5.
Tay and J Show, ESPN Radio 93.5. Lon Tay, Jeremy Warner. If you want to weigh in, you can on the Jupiters at the Crossing phone line or the Chief Bauer text line. It's the same number, 217-359-2255. We called Claves back down at Busch Stadium, still having some issues with the phone, so we just decided that we're going to go ahead and call it quits with Claves until 2 weeks from now, every other Monday. But we always thank Pekin Insurance as they help sponsor Mike Claiborne coming on with the Talking Cardinals every other week. I was going to ask him about the Blues to see if they can turn that around. You know, it's really this simple. You're down 2-1 in this thing, and Nashville, I think, has outplayed you essentially all three games. Mm-hmm. Jake Allen was terrific yesterday. I know he gave up 3 goals. He was terrific. It could have been 8-1 in that game. It's really one of those situations, Jeremy, and you know it. You sense it. You watch playoff hockey. If you just get the equalizer now in Game 4, you're right back to now a 3-game series, and you're back to home ice. But I think it's simply this. Nashville is just quicker. They're quicker to the puck, and for some reason, they've kind of taken Alex Pietrangelo out of this thing, who had such a great series against Minnesota, and Pietrangelo's still good as a defenseman for the Blues, but I'd like to see a little more out of him in Game 4, and and he's a captain. And I guarantee you he'll show up. So that'll be fun to watch tomorrow night.
Well, it feels like these are the 2 hottest goalies in the playoffs.
There's no doubt.
Petr and Jake Allen.
Yep.
On the other side, it's not surprised to see the Penguins up 2-0.
Unbelievable.
And how about the Edmonton Oilers? Are now the favorite to win?
Yes.
According to Vegas.
It is crazy.
And they've been terrible for a long time. They got some nice young talent.
You are seeing some of these teams come up and are starting like Toronto. Toronto made a nice little splash in that series. They got knocked out in the East, but Toronto and Edmonton. Here we are with Canada. You remember last year, not one Canadian team made the playoffs. And this year, you're starting to see it now develop, and you're starting to see that young talent with some of those Canadian teams.
Like if no American team made the Super Bowl or made the NFL playoffs, which is impossible because there are no other countries represented here.
We hardly talked about that, and obviously we don't talk a ton of hockey, but I didn't even think on a national level that was brought up enough that there were no Canadian teams in the NHL playoffs
They
last year.
both got really good young players.
Yes, they do.
Number one picks, Connor McDavid and Austin Matthews on the Toronto Maple Leafs.
My mom was like, well, shouldn't they be pretty good? I mean, because everybody plays hockey. I said the funny part is Matthews is from Arizona. And she's like, well, how did he do that? And I'm like, he went to a rink?
Yeah, part of the Phoenix Coyotes, right?
That's exactly right.
They kind of got the NHL going there.
So it is amazing, but you can see, I think Toronto and Edmonton, you're going to see a lot of those teams wins here in the next 5 years.
The NBA playoffs second rounds are
what's going
set.
on there?
In the West, you got the Golden State Warriors taking on the Utah Jazz as Gordon Hayward, Rudy Gobert and company dispatched the LA Clippers, who, of course, were without Blake Griffin. And Griffin and Paul can both opt out of their contracts, I believe. I mean, they can make a lot of money in L.A. Mm-hmm. You're wondering if this is the end of the Clippers, who've had a great resurgence, basically because Blake Griffin got there, and then the NBA nixed a trade of Chris Paul to the L.A. Lakers and allowed him to go to the Clippers. I think that's been a great thing, but to lose that, to all of a sudden for the Clippers to go all the way back down to earth, even if they're on a championship contender, to be a fun team in the NBA still means something. And the Clippers have had so much terrible history that this has been the height, but they've never gotten to the conference finals.
I've always said that the Clippers are probably the one team worse than the Arizona Cardinals as an organization that fails.
Yeah.
And I know the Cubs were part of that too, but now they've experienced that. Arizona even made a Super Bowl, but the Clippers were so bad, and then everything with the owner went crazy. It's just a weird. So for them to be good on all of a sudden, if they lose those two, that's the thing about the NBA. You can go from here to down here in a hurry.
Yeah. So I think, DeAndre Jordan, Blake, and Chris Paul, if those guys all come back, they're going to be in the mix of the top teams in the West, but they probably need another piece. And can they go get Carmelo, or can they add something else to that roster? Of course, they have a lot of money spent up in a lot of those guys, so that'd be interesting.
How fun will the San Antonio-Houston series be?
Awesome.
I was going to say, that's going to be fun.
I think it should be a lot of fun because you got two really different teams. Of course, Houston, Oklahoma City were kind of similar in that they get up and down, high tempo. San Antonio will play that game. They can play that game, but it's going to be interesting tactician battle here because you got Greg Popovich, and of course San Antonio is usually one of the better defensive teams. They got a bunch of two-way players there against Houston that is just analytics driven, all offense driven. James Harden, who's deserving of the MVP as Russ is, as Kawhi is, as LeBron is. That's probably, if I had to rank these series, that would be number one for this. In the East, you have Cleveland against Toronto. The interesting thing about this series is Cleveland, even though they swept their first-round series, they've struggled a little bit, right? And they haven't been a unbeatable team down the stretch here. So you get Toronto, which basically added players like P.J. Tucker and Serge Ibaka just for Cleveland series.
Cleveland. Isn't
just
that funny?
To defend LeBron and to defend Cleveland. I think that's my second most interesting series right there because I don't think Cleveland's going to lose, but I think it could be a very competitive series. Boston, Washington, I don't think either of those teams is winning the title.
No.
So I think it's an interesting series of two younger, up-and-coming teams. I think this could be John Wall's breakout series where everyone starts to realize, this guy is one of the best players in the league. And then Golden State, Utah. I think Utah's a very fun team, young team. Gordon Hayward's turned into a star in the NBA. They play great defense. But I don't think it's any match for Golden State.
You just move them along. I mean, when you put these down, you got Golden State number one in the West and Cleveland number one in the East, just on the sheet. Yeah. Just move them along to the NBA Finals. One final question: can Kawhi Leonard will he be able to contain James Harden at all? Will they even?
I don't even know if they're going to match up.
Yeah, I was going to say, would they? Is
I don't know if who's guarding who.
Yeah, right. That's important to me in these series. Now, that'll be interesting, though, to watch. Houston.
I don't think anybody can contain James Harden.
Am I the only guy that can't stand the beard?
In this NBA, well, it's his trademark.
I know it is.
It's like Anthony Davis with a brow. You got to have a trademark look.
You do. You got to. I like it.
So, yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting. And then, of course, the Bulls year is over, and they go into an offseason that's going to be very, very interesting. There's rumors, Mark Stein, who used to be with ESPN after all those layoffs, he's not. That's saying John Paxson might take more command over the day-to-day operations, which Gar Forman is. I think Gar Forman's terrible.
Okay.
I don't know why he's not fired. I think John Paxson could be fired, but I have way more confidence in him than Gar Forman. I mean, when he was drafting, they were drafting good players.
Right.
Since Gar Forman started this thing, he hasn't been drafting good players, and he's made terrible decisions personnel-wise. So I wonder if that's a change. You wonder with Hoiberg. And then, of course, it comes down to are Rondo and Wade back?
Yeah.
I wouldn't bring them back. Despite what Rondo did for 2 games in the playoffs, I'm not bringing him back. And Wade, I hope, opts out. I mean, it's just that. What are you doing here?
No, right.
And then Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
What's going to happen there? Do they trade him? Does another team give up a lot for him? Paul George is probably going to get traded this offseason too. Wow. So it's going to be very, very interesting offseason for the Chicago Bulls.
You could really reshape a couple of teams if you get rid of a Jimmy Butler and a Paul George. If those two guys could really make an impact on another team. All right, it is the Tay and J Show. Lonte, Jeremy Warner, talked a little NHL, talked a little NBA. Of course, we talked Bears at the end of the last hour. And you loved it. You loved what Chicago did, what Ryan Pace did to trade up and get Mitch Trubisky. It is now time to ask Scott Wright. He's our resident draft expert. DraftCountdown.com is his site. Scott Wright, how are you, buddy?
Hey, I'm doing excellent. Thanks for having me.
We are having the same. You know what we're going to do, Scott? If you're listening, I apologize to this. We're going to call you back in a little bit, but we just had the same issue with regards to another interview. So we're going to do that again. We'll call Scott back and see if we can't get this figured out with the connections, because we don't want you as the listener to have to hear that as we go along. So we'll try that again, take a quick break, and be back. It is the Tay and J Show.
Spring has sprung, and for 25 years, Prairie View Landscaping has been the premier locally owned and operated lawn care provider in Central Illinois. Prairie View Landscaping is a full-service company, a one-stop shop for all your lawn care and outdoor needs. So email Lindy at Prairie View Landscaping today at mypvdiscount@gmail.com. That's mypvdiscount@gmail.com. Prairie View Landscaping, celebrating 25 years in business. That's mypvdiscount@gmail.com. For the last 5 years, Rock's Place in St. Joseph has become the neighborhood sports bar and grill for a lot of folks in the area. Rock's Place is known for their delicious burgers, and they also have great daily food and drink specials. Plus, Rock's has plenty of TVs, so you can keep tabs on the Cubs and Cardinals all summer long. While you're there, press your luck on one of Melody Music's video gaming machines. For delicious food, cold drinks, and good company, make it Rock's Place, 101 North Main Street in St. Joseph. Find them on Facebook. That's ROCHS in St. Joseph.
You check things all the time, like your email every 10 seconds, or your ex's Instagram. But what about checking something as important as your credit? Well, Discover makes it quick, easy, and best of all, free. Discover is now offering FICO credit scores to everyone for free, even if you're not a customer. And checking your score won't hurt your credit. We call it the Discover Credit Scorecard. And once you know your score, you should check to see if your current credit card is the best fit for you. Check your credit, compare your card. Go to discover.com/credit scorecard. Limitations apply.
Check out the new BMW of Champaign. It's not like the old Twin City. They have new on-site local ownership since 2013, along with a new state-of-the-art facility. With a Customer First Service Award winner for 2015, BMW of Champaign does business your way. Yes, they have tons of cars. Yes, they'll get you what you want. Yes, they discount, deal, and even pick up and deliver. So stop in, ask for Ben, and give BMW of Champaign a look. BMW of Champaign at the corner of Neal and Burwash in Savoy.
Are you looking for a new home or planning to refinance your existing home? Hi, this is Todd Durakan from First Federal Savings Bank of Champaign-Urbana, getting you and your home faster with loan closings in 30 days, mortgage loans, and refinancing that's fast, friendly, and local. We invite you to visit our experienced team of mortgage experts to find out how First Federal Savings Bank can help you with your loan closing in 30 days. For more information, visit 356bank.com. First Federal Savings Bank of Champaign-Urbana. Get what you want out of life. Member FDIC, Equal Housing lending lender.
You already know Houlihan's Restaurant and Bar at the iHotel is a great restaurant, but don't forget about the bar. Fantastic drink specials and mouth-watering menu items from snacks to full meals. A nice selection of draft, craft, and domestic beers, and just about any cocktail you can imagine. Watch a game with multiple flat screens on all sides of the bar, or grab some tables and make it a party. Drink specials daily, plus Houlihan's is now serving a delicious hot breakfast 7 days a week. Houlihan's at the iHotel. Check them out at the corner of 1st Street and St. Mary's Road, just south of the State Farm Center.
When you're heading home, Tay and J are on your way talking sports. Weekday afternoons 3 to 6 here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
4:33, I'm Jeremy Warner with your Sports Center update, brought to you by Prairie View Landscaping. Email them at mypvdiscount@gmail.com. Definitely not a rebuilding year for Illini Golf. They won the Big Ten championship by 16 strokes this weekend. That's their third straight Big Ten title and 8th in 9 years. Dylan Meyer became the 7th straight Illini to win individual medalist honors, winning the tournament by 1 stroke. Illini Nick Hardy, Eduardo Liparelli, and Giovanni Tadiotto all placed in the top 10 as well. Illini now await their assignment for the NCAA Regionals, which they have won 4 straight years. Illinois second baseman Michael Massey has been named Big Ten Freshman of the Week. That's his second straight week he's earned those honors. He hit 10 for 19 last week, included a series win at Minnesota for the Illini. Illini softball was canceled yesterday, but they did split a pair at Wisconsin. DeJuan Smoot, the only Illini football player to get drafted over the weekend, going in the 3rd round, 68th overall to Jacksonville. 6 other Illini signed free agent deals. Carroll Phillips joined Smoot in Jacksonville. Hardy Nickerson signed with the Bengals. Westlant to the Vikings. Rob Bain to the Jets. Justin Hardy and Jamel President to the Texans. NHL, the Blues now face a 2-1 deficit after a 3-1 loss to the Predators last night. Game 4 tomorrow night. Tonight, the Penguins look to take a 3-0 lead on the Capitals. NBA tonight, the Cavaliers and Raptors and Spurs and Rockets tip off their second-round series. And on to baseball, the Cardinals, Cubs, and White Sox all in action tonight. Again, this is your Sports Center update brought to you by Prairie View Landscaping. Save up to 25% off your 2017 lawn care through the end of the month. Just email mypvdiscount@gmail.com. That's mypvdiscount@gmail.com.
Jeremy, when I'm on a golf course, it can absolutely pour down rain, and I'm fine with that. When it's windy, I just cannot stand it, and I hate wind, and wind is crazy today, and it's actually messing a little bit up with our connections here, our fiber optic connections. So we're working to get that fixed. If we can get that fixed, we'll try to get Scott right on. So this is a me problem. This is an us problem, and we're looking ourselves in the mirror to make sure that we can get this corrected.
Dang you, wind. Dang you, wind.
It is the Tay and J Show. Lonte, Jeremy Warner. You can always text us. That's still up and running at 359-2255.
So over the weekend, as I said, DeJuan Smoot went on Friday, which is what I expected, 2nd or 3rd round. Really was expecting 3rd round. Goes high in the 3rd round, goes to Jacksonville. I don't know if Shad Khan had much of a say in that.
I doubt he's just drafting somebody.
You should draft that Illini guy. I don't think that's what was happening there. But I think DeJuan's a really good value in the 3rd round. A guy who can play against the run, a pass rush as well. I think he's going to be a solid NFL player and contributor. The bigger surprise for me was Carroll Phillips not getting selected.
No doubt.
Doesn't surprise me that Hardy Nickerson didn't go because he's not the most athletic or fast guy. He will get a chance. He signed with the Bengals, so he'll get a chance in camp. But Carroll Phillips was elite as a pass rusher.
Yes, he was.
That's the only thing he's good at, though.
Okay.
I talking to some people in the industry, including a scout. One-dimensional.
Okay.
It was the word I kept hearing, was one-dimensional. I thought he was so good at that one dimension that he could get into an NFL that is pass-happy. That is a situational pass rusher.
No doubt.
Like Bruce Irvin of the Seahawks is kind of who I think of. Now, Irvin is maybe he's a better athlete than Carroll Phillips, but that guy, all he does is a pass rusher. But they don't think well enough of Carroll as dropping back in coverage, hasn't shown it in college enough, and he's not very good against the run.
Okay.
He gave up some big gaps, and Illinois wasn't very good at stopping the run, and he was part of the reason. So that's why he was, but I'm still a little bit shocked that no one took a flyer on him. But once you get into the 7th round,
you don't want to be drafted.
You really don't.
You want to go to the team you know needs what you need.
Yeah.
What you have, I mean.
And going to Jacksonville where he's got his guy DeJuan Smoot there might help him a little bit. But there's one guy I really like to fit, Lon, of the Illini that signed.
Is it Lunt?
Yes.
With the Vikings, right?
I really like that spot for him.
Because Bridgewater's out. Or, wait, am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Teddy Bridgewater out, right?
Most likely for the season again.
Interesting.
Right? With a catastrophic injury. They didn't pick up his 5th-year option this year.
Okay.
So he's going to be gone most likely in a couple of years, and that stinks because that's a good player. And like if you had a comp for Deshaun Watson, Teddy Bridgewater might be it.
I agree.
And Wes, I know, is not what you exactly want in a quarterback. That's why he wasn't drafted.
Right.
But I think he's got a chance to hold the clipboard for a couple years.
Wouldn't that be great?
And if you talk about a backup to Sam Bradford,
oh my goodness,
a guy who's got some similarities to Sam Bradford,
yes,
injury prone, maybe doesn't have that it factor. Wes can get into a quarterback room and be liked.
Mm-hmm.
He's really smart. He's NFL ready.
He knows football.
He's NFL ready.
Yes.
The question is, can he lift those people around him? I haven't seen it.
Okay.
I haven't seen him lift up the people around him. He didn't have a lot of talent with him on offense the last couple of years. But can he lift I didn't see that.
Right.
The leadership, I don't think he's a bad leader. It's just he's not a vocal guy. And at some point, I think you do kind of need that in a quarterback unless you got so many other guys who can provide that. But if you're just talking about trying to find a place in the NFL as a backup, I kind of like that spot with the Vikings.
I had not thought about that, and you're right. And it is interesting how Minnesota's kind of changed a little bit the last couple of years. They were so run-heavy with Adrian Peterson, obviously, for all those seasons. Why wouldn't you be? You had the best running back in football for a long time. And then last year, they kind of switched that around. I mean, Sam Bradford threw it. He threw it all over last year. They had some guys that ended up being pretty good wide receivers for them. So Minnesota is one of those teams that's almost trying to change their identity a little bit from that running team to more of a passing team. And if that's the case,
I don't expect Wes Lunt to ever be a starting.
No, not at all. But if that's the case, then there are more chances for a Sam Bradford to get nicked up, etc. And if Wes Lunt makes that team, maybe you have a chance to have some spot duty, which would be really cool to see how he could do. And I think, Jeremy, this is why. Because I know a lot of Illini fans got down on Wes Lunt. But I do think, and you and I have said it all along, that Wes Lunt has an NFL arm. He's got the arm to make all the throws.
He's got NFL intelligence. The way he processes things on the field.
Yes.
But sometimes, he did, and he's a lot like Bradford in this way, he took the check down a lot.
He did.
Right?
He did. That's true.
He didn't trust what was around him. And he's kind of a computer.
Right.
Like, okay, I don't like the percentages of that, so I'm going to check down. Well, at some point, all those check downs don't lead to first downs.
Correct.
Right? So,
and it gets frustrating.
And you need to probably stick it in a hole somewhere.
You got to take a chance.
But he didn't have the receivers that got open enough. Now, when Mikey was healthy,
yes,
it was a lot better.
And that's the thing. It's hard to evaluate Wes Lunt the last couple of years because he didn't have anybody really. I mean, Malik Turner's good. Don't get me wrong.
I think you can evaluate. Does he have that special quality that you're looking for? No, and that's why he wasn't drafted.
Agree.
But there are NFL traits there.
Yes.
And we always knew he was going to get his chance. I like his chance. Yeah. I like his chance with where he's going right now.
Carroll Phillips, on the other end of that, is a guy that didn't they at the Senior Bowl, didn't they move him around and make him an inside linebacker?
Outside linebacker.
Or was it outside?
I mean,
okay.
He probably fits best as a 3-4 outside linebacker.
Got it.
Or just as a 4-3, come in on third down, rush the pass.
Boom. Yeah.
I mean, that's all he does. Smoot worked out a little bit at outside linebacker as well because the 3-4 scheme. He did start off as an inside linebacker at Illinois, but that's not his spot.
No, that's not his spot. So that'll be interesting. And that was kind of a telling thing to me that when they did that at the Senior Bowl, it's almost like, hey, we understand what you can do here, but we want to see if you can do this other stuff. And maybe that is something that was kind of a weakness for Carroll Phillips, but he did have an unbelievable year. But a lot of that can be thanked to Smoot on the other end. You had to put so much a tackle and a tight end on Smoot. And really, Carroll Phillips ran free all year, and that was huge. Now, I'm not ripping Carroll's year. He had a great year for Illinois, and he's got the chance. He's athletic. I don't know if he's Martez Wilson athletic, but he's athletic enough to hopefully he can stick with a team, and that'd be Jacksonville.
He can just stay so low to the ground and go so fast.
Isn't that unreal?
Like, it's very difficult for 6'5", 300-pound men to block.
Huge.
At least when he's running after the quarterback. Now, when you're running at him, he's easier to block.
Hey, where did some of those guys... Okay, so 2 went to Jacksonville. 1 went to Cincinnati, and of course they took a flyer last year on the safety,
Clayton
Fedulum. And then there was another one.
2 go to the Texans, Jamel President and Justin Hardy. When you run a 4.3 40, somebody's going to invite you to camp to see what you can do.
Yes.
Justin Hardy did not have many catches at Illinois. Not that great of a receiver, but he does have speed.
He does.
And the Texans already have Jay Prosh, Whitney Merciless, Jeff Allen.
And that's where I was going.
And I think one more.
It's interesting, and I know that probably a team is not going to sit there and go, all right, we got some Illinois guys that are doing pretty well, so we're going to recruit or we're going to draft Illinois guys or sign Illinois guys. But I think there is a familiarity there because they've seen tape of these guys. They've seen maybe they spotted a guy like Justin Hardy on a tape when they were watching someone else and said, hey, that might be somebody to keep an eye on down the road. So it's just kind of interesting that the Illini players went somewhere where there's already an Illini player.
And Rob Bain signed with the Jets.
Rob Bain.
Yeah, 48 reps of 225, Rob Bain. Rob's a strong man. I think it's going to be very difficult for him. He just got a camp invite. That's what that was. So he got a camp invite there. But, Illinois, just 1 draftee in the West Division, if you're going to compare that. Wisconsin had 3 draftees, 2 in the first round.
Yes.
Ryan Ramczyk and T.J. Watt. Nebraska had just 1.
Wow.
Purdue had just 1. Minnesota had just 1. And who's the other team in the West? Iowa. Had 4.
Oh, wow.
But you compare that to Michigan, which had a record 11 players drafted. Ohio State, after last year having, was it
half
12
the first round, it seemed
in
like.
the first 4 rounds?
I think so.
And then this year they have 7 drafted.
Unbelievable.
Illinois got a long way to go.
Yes, they do.
And
yes, they do.
If you look, and we can come back and talk about this, about the Illini that could be drafted in the future.
Okay.
Next 2 years, pretty sparse.
Yeah. Wow. And didn't they just go off a couple of years where we didn't have a draft pick?
Yeah. So, 4 draft picks in 4 years.
Yeah, that
tells you a little bit about the Tim Beckman era, doesn't it?
It totally does. That's a great point.
Because Ron Zook, for all his faults, had from 2008 to 13, those are guys he recruited, right? He had 19 draft picks.
There was
5 first rounders, 4 second rounders.
Wow. The News Gazette used to run a full page on all what the former Illini are doing in the NFL, and it always shocked me. I'm like, there's a lot more players in the NFL from Illinois than you'd think. That's dwindled now.
Ferguson and Geronimo Allison, undrafted free agents that have found a role in the NFL, and we'll see how long they can keep on to that. But it does tell you a little bit about you have a long way to go. You got to have some talent.
Yep.
To contend in the Big Ten. And Lovie Smith, I like this freshman class. I think there's guys that have the NFL size and athleticism and speed, but when you're talking about the upperclassmen,
it's tough.
There's not a lot there.
There's not at all. 359-2255. If you want to shoot us a text on the Chief Bauer text line, we can do that, and we'll kind of look ahead too. We'll get back to some of the basketball as well. We really didn't get a chance to pick your brain that much on all the happenings with Mark Smith and what that means for Illinois. We'll get a better version of that when we come back. 359-2255. It is the Tay and J Show.
If you have nothing to smile about, schedule an appointment today at Angel Smiles Dental Center in Rantoul. Turn your frown upside down and show off those beautiful teeth. We all have unique smiles, and we know what it takes to maintain those smiles. After all, a smile is like a personal signature, whether young or old. Maintaining your beautiful smile has never been easier with a visit to Angel Smiles Dental Center. From fillings, crowns, and root canals to dental implants and braces for kids and adults alike, Angel Smiles Dental Center in Rantoul will serve your entire family for all of your dental needs in all stages of life. Angel Smiles accepts the medical card for most services. For those children 20 and under, they accept a number of insurance plans, and they have an in-house dental plan to help people who have no insurance at all. Angel Smiles Dental Center is waiting to see you. Schedule a visit today at Angel Smiles Dental Center in Rantoul. Visit angelsmilesdentalcenter.com. That's angelsmilesdentalcenter.com, or call 892-8868.
Renew, energize, and donate. Join Keller Williams Realty of Champaign, the real estate center of Illinois, for their annual Red Day, Thursday, May 11th, the company's annual day of service dedicated to renewing, energizing, and donating to their local communities. As part of the Red Day effort, Keller Williams associates will spend the day with See You at Home, building new sheds, painting, light remodeling, and landscaping at multiple locations offered by See You at Home. For more information about Red Day, visit kwchampagneredday.com. That's kwchampagneredday.com. Go to kwchampagneredday.com.
Hi, it's Stevie J. Start your day with me along with Diane Ducey, weekday morning 7 to 9 here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
Tay and J Show, ESPN Radio 93.5. Latte, Jeremy Warner, 359-2255 if you want to bash Wes Lunt. That's the cheap dollars text
Having
line.
an NFL arm is not enough. Of course it's not. He didn't get drafted.
No, he didn't.
Not accurate enough. Well, if you just look at this is the thing. Like, somebody is texting about Mitch Trubisky against Deshaun Watson, and he's just talking about the numbers. That does not make an NFL prospect.
Nope.
Like, otherwise Ken Dorsey or Graham Harrell would have been first-round overall picks, right? I mean, there's more into scouting than that. And Wes Lunt has some NFL traits that we're talking about. Yes. He has the arm.
Yep.
I think he has the accuracy. He had 60 drop passes 2 years ago.
Wow.
This year, I think there was like 30, 40. That's a lot.
I agree.
I do there's a lot of issues with Wes.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why
mobility is not good.
Yes, mobility is not good. There's an injury history there. And as we've talked about, he lacks that it factor that when they'll in high school he had it, but when it comes to college, bright lights come on, there's a little bit of hesitation.
I agree.
He just doubts himself a little bit or doubts his teammates, but he did not get a lot of help. All the turmoil around him had 4 offensive coordinators or something like that in college.
Unbelievable.
And then just think of the guys he was throwing to.
Yeah.
I mean, Malik Turner's good.
Go back 3 years when he threw to Mikey Dudek.
Malik Turner's really good.
Yes, he is.
That's all.
That's it.
No tight ends.
Nope.
Right?
Nope. No, that's the amazing thing. I mean, that is the amazing thing. It is one of those deals where it's tough. It is tough when you're throwing, and that offensive line, by the way, and I hate to do that because I love my guys like Joe Spencer and such, but you had a mix of younger offensive linemen with Gabe Meganson learning on the job, Nick Allegretti learning on the job, and then you had some guys that were undersized. Joe Spencer was undersized as a center.
Basically what we're saying is I think Wes Lunt has a lot of similarities to Nate Sudfeld.
Yes.
Who was a late 5th round, 6th round draft pick last year.
That's a good call.
Wes was not what I thought he was going to be here.
Agree.
But I also think he was not put in positions to succeed here. If that makes sense. I know
it does.
I don't think you were going to get the max of Wes Lunt. I think he made a mistake in coming here.
That's why a lot of kids, that's why he didn't come here in the first place.
In the football fit. Yes. That's why he went to Oklahoma State. He's like, I can go to Illinois, home state school. I kind of like that. But I'm going to go somewhere where I'm going to be put in the best position to succeed.
And I'm going to have speed to throw to.
That's why Luke Ford's going to Arkansas.
That's exactly right.
He goes, look how they use their tight ends. Right, I know they have that,
and
that's what Illinois has to battle, and that's why you got to find guys who fit, win some games with them, and then get the big recruits, or know who you can get or who you can sell to. That hey, you're going to be a foundation piece here.
That is a perfect transition to Mark Smith, and I was thinking this the other day. Illinois, first of all, basketball is so much easier to fix than football, right? I mean, you get 1 or 2 guys in a class, they can all of a sudden bolt you up the Big Ten or bolt you up the NCAA a lot quicker than in football when you have to have numerous guys do this.
I mean, one is like a tugboat turning it around.
Yeah.
The other one's a military aircraft carrier.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
You're exactly right. So for either one of these classes, or either one of these sports at Illinois, you're looking for that guy. Who's that one guy that makes the difference, that comes here and wants to do it? Basketball just got it with Mark Smith. And it is amazing what he could mean.
Can we talk about this a little bit more next hour?
Yeah.
Because I have a lot of thoughts.
Okay, that's fine.
With where Illinois basketball is going and what the staff's doing over the last couple of weeks. I don't want to do it in just 3 minutes.
No, that's fair.
That we have at the top of the hour. And I know a lot of people have questions about this class. And somebody's texting about, are there enough scholarships when they have 3 available?
They have 3
right now. So
we can count.
Yeah, I don't think that's a big issue.
No, that's a good call. We'll do that next hour because we have no guests next hour. The phone lines are back to working, so if anybody wants to weigh in, 359-2255.
But when you think of Illinois in the future, like I think people are really excited about Lovey, but I think last year was
yes,
this isn't going to happen like that.
No, not at all.
And you lost a lot of talented pieces.
Yes, you did.
Off that team last year. So if I had to tell you, Lon, one guy from this team gets drafted next year, who would you think it's going to be?
It would be Malik.
I think there's two guys I think have the best chance. That's Malik Turner, who I think has the NFL size, speed,
I've said that since his freshman
physicality,
year.
athleticism. I think he's a better version of Geronimo Allison.
Yes.
Because he's bigger, stronger, good blocker. And he had a great year last year. That kind of gets overlooked when he didn't have a great quarterback situation.
Agree.
So now that you have, Chase isn't a big thrower, is he going to have a lot of stats? No.
Right.
But I do think he's shown a lot of good things on tape, and I do think he'll test well.
I agree
when
with
it comes to all that.
And the cornerback.
Jalen Dunlap, I think Jalen's got a chance.
Yes.
He had a great end of last year, big, physical.
He's got the size.
Don't know if he's the fastest, but if you're looking for a press corner and come up and tackle people, I think Lovie Smith loves that kind of corner. So if you're running that kind of system, Christian DeLauro's got a chance.
Okay.
6'5", 300 pounds.
Big boy. Yep.
He's getting a lot stronger. He's made 31 straight starts. He's got good feet. I don't know if he had the greatest year last year, but CBS Sports already ranks him the number 20 offensive tackle in this class. I don't know if that's good enough to get you drafted, but I do think DeLauro and Turner have the best chance. And I never thought I would have said this. Does Kendrick Foster have a chance?
Wow. What a story that would be.
Now
a kid that was going to transfer.
This big plotter of a short guy, right? Before, just get him between the tackles. Now he's got this speed threat. He needs to show he can catch the football, and he can.
Yes, he can.
So they need to use him that way, but he's shown that NFL kind of speed now, and CBS ranks him the number 31 running back. He's more of a scat back, but you can kind of have that role.
What a story, though. That was with the kid that was going to transfer from Illinois, decides to come back, and then turns into be your most productive running back last year on this team.
So those are the guys I think have a chance.
Okay.
I think Malik, and it's weird, CBS has him as the number 80 wide receiver in that class. I think that's way too low. I probably haven't seen enough of him. The junior class, the best chance is Dudek.
Yeah.
He's got to show it on the field again.
He does. Bless his heart.
Trey Watson.
Yeah.
He's going to put up numbers.
He's my guy.
I don't know if there's, Jonathan Brown was a really good college linebacker. Delshon Phillips.
Yeah.
We'll have to see it at this level.
He looks it.
Nick Allegretti is a center, maybe, but it's really hard for those kind of interior linemen.
Well, Allegretti, he'll be a junior next year. Is that right? Yeah. Wow.
And then you go to the sophomore class. These are guys who got to prove it a lot. Gabe's got the size, athleticism. He's got to show the, that mental aspect of the game now and the technique of it. Jamal Milan's a kid I love. He's just got to stay healthy.
Okay.
And then if I'm going to throw some flyers at guys, Cam Watkins has the size, speed.
He's the safety.
Length, cornerback.
Or corner, yeah.
That had a really good end of last year. Those other guys, we think of Patrick Nelson, Stanley Green, but Cam's got the physical traits.
Right.
He's just really raw. And then Adam Solomon's just a big body.
He is a big boy.
He needs. I think he's an interior player.
Okay.
I don't think he's not a very good pass blocker at this point, but he's got the size and physical traits you look for as well.
I was going to bring in Harry Black real quick, our intern. He was a walk-on offensive lineman. Harry, the phone went. It didn't ring over the weekend for you, I guess.
No, unfortunately not.
What'd you run in the 40? Have you ever run a 40?
I ran a 40, but I ran it back when I weighed 225 pounds. I got down to, I'm not sure if the guy was just being generous, but he said I got down to 4'9". I'm sure I was running a 5'1".
That's impressive,
That is impressive. Especially with this Illinois wind. Although today you could probably run a 4.2 if you get in the right wind direction. Hey, who's the running back? My goodness, Kendrick Foster. That was pretty neat to see that last year develop.
Yeah.
Was that pretty cool inside that locker room with him?
Yeah, well, the thing is about Kendrick is you never really got to see him perform because in practice you don't have a lot of situations where the running back is allowed to run through people. There's not a lot of full contact drills. And then 2 years ago when we played, I forget if it was Purdue or Minnesota where he first started to play, and they put him in and he started running over people, you're like, hey, this kid can do it. You can do it.
Right.
So, he was always, I four-year scout guy, and he was there with me for the first, I think, 2 years.
That's
and
cool.
You would see him do it to the starting defense, and unfortunately, all they're really looking for, it seemed like, was who can run maybe the fastest or most agile, when really he's the kind of guy who can get you the yards you need.
Yes, he can.
And all of a sudden he's added that speed, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Just dropped like 10 pounds, and all of a sudden he's really fast.
Crazy. Harry, thank you, buddy. We appreciate that. Always nice to check in with a guy that was on the Illini football team for our expert advice.
We got the phone lines open, 359-2255, 217-359-2255. If you want to weigh in.
Jeremy was on vacation last week when the news broke about Mark Smith. We will get his thoughts on that and the rest of this basketball. There's 3 spots left, 3 scholarships left. What are we going to do? We'll find out next. It is the Tay and J Show.
The sounds of spring and the smell of flowers in the air, they all add up to Spring Green, America's neighborhood lawn care team. That lush green lawnscape is a result of a reputation earned through consistent performance. They become your favorite through quality service and professionalism. Spring Green will service and maintain your lawnscape with seeding, aeration, fertilizing, weed reduction, disease, and insect control. Now the ease and trouble-free convenience of Spring Green's professional lawn care's full program is yours at savings of 20% for new customers. It's backed by their guarantee of satisfaction. Over 32 years of satisfied customers reflect their commitment to Champaign-Urbana and the Mattoon-Charleston area. Call Spring Green at 217-359-2111 or online at spring-green.com at 217-359-2111.
When you need spends a little too much time in the sun relief.
Yikes.
Ow, what the? Attack of the angry mosquito relief.
Hey, watch this.
Scraped knees.
And an elbow.
Relief. You need new Gold Bond Pain and Itch Relief Cream with lidocaine. Gold Bond has the maximum strength lidocaine available without a prescription and starts working on contact to numb away pain and itch. New Gold Bond with lidocaine. Relief starts now. Use as directed.
You're listening to WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.
A deadly attack on the Austin campus of the University of Texas. Fox's Gernal Scott has the latest live.
Jane, one man is in custody for killing a student and wounding 3 others with a Bowie knife. Police have been questioning Kendricks J. White, who was taken into custody with little resistance. UT Austin Police Chief David Carter says they're trying to determine a motive.
At this particular time, we do not know. We have upwards of 25 witnesses. So this investigation is going to take a little while.
We do know Kendricks White is a student at the University of Texas. Police do not believe anyone else is involved in the attack during finals week at UT, Jane.
Thanks, Gernal. Not quite 200 miles away in Dallas, a paramedic was shot and critically wounded east of the city's downtown. He's now out of surgery, says Mayor Mike Rawlings.
He is going to have to undergo extensive medical treatment to get him back up to par.
Another civilian critically injured in that incident. 2 bodies, including the suspected gunman, found in a nearby home, and a police officer suffered minor injuries. Near the University of San Diego campus, a deadly shooting at an apartment complex last night. Fox's Jessica Rosenthal has this live update.
Jane, San Diego police say 49-year-old Peter Sellis was sitting on a lounge chair by the pool at his apartment complex when he opened fire. A woman was killed. 6 other people were injured. They're expected to survive. He was white. The 7 people he shot were black and Latino. But Police Chief Shelley Zimmerman says this was not racially motivated.
It is very clear that Sellis was despondent over the breakup of his girlfriend.
She says Sellis called his ex after shooting at 2 people and kept her on the phone as he shot even more people. When police arrived, he opened fire on them. They returned fire, killing him.
You're listening to Fox News Radio, Fair and Balanced.
ADT presents What to Consider When Considering Home Security. An ADT sign is more than a sign. It's a line in the sand. On one side, your family. On the other, an uncertain world.
For over 140 years, more people have chosen ADT to help prevent crime than anyone else. Get ADT starting at just $28.99 a month.
Tested, trusted, proven ADT.
With 36-month contract for licensing and terms and conditions, visit ADT.com.
Ready for a new tractor? At LS Tractor, we'll be the first to tell you to shop and compare. That's right, shop our competition. We're that confident that the LS Tractor combination of more standard features, better performance, competitive price, and proven commitment to customer satisfaction deliver value that's unequaled by another tractor. Period. Want more tractor for your money? Look around. You'll see there's one that gives it to you. LS Tractor. Excel in your field. Learn more at lstractorusa.com.
Saying he'd be willing to sit down with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un under the right circumstances, making those comments in a sit-down interview with Fox's Eric Bolling for his new program, The Specialist, which premiered last hour. Bolling also asked the president about the safety of our troops across the border in South Korea.
Nobody's safe. I mean, who's safe? The guy's got nuclear weapons. I'd like to say they're very safe.
Bipartisanship is not dead. That's the message on Capitol Hill as congressional leaders reached a compromise to keep the government in business.
The $1 trillion bill funding the federal government through September is a win for leaders in both parties.
It contains the largest increase in border security resources in a decade.
Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell praising $1.5 billion for technology and infrastructure repairs along the southern border. But there is no money for a physical border wall. Democratic leader Chuck Schumer.
And this was an idea that both parties rejected.
The spending bill increases funding for the military and the National Institutes of Health. Both the House and Senate are expected to vote on the package this week.
Fox's Jared Halpern. House Republicans have said they are optimistic a new bill to repeal and replace Obamacare will make its way to the president's desk this time. There has been some confusion about providing coverage for people with pre-existing conditions. White House spokesman Sean Spicer.
This bill hopefully passes the House this week or whenever it does, and then goes through the Senate and the House. This is an issue that is important to him.
Him being the president. At last report, though, the bill lacks enough votes to make it through the House. U.S. markets ending mixed today. The Dow down 27 points. Another record close, though, for the NASDAQ, up 44 points today. The S&P 500 up 4. I'm Jane Metzler, Fox News Radio.
Here's your ESPN Radio 3-day forecast brought to you by Chief Bauer. Trust the experts at Chief Bauer Service Experts to keep you comfortable all year long. Call 866-EXPERTS or visit them online at chiefbauer.com. Expect occasional rain to end at about 5:30, a low of 42 tonight. Tuesday, mostly sunny, high 61, low of 39. And it gets wet again on Wednesday.
Come on!
Could get 1 or more inches of rain, high 60, low of 45.
Andrew is not going to be happy.
Right now, some scattered showers around Mahomet, Thomasboro right now, 50 degrees in Champaign-Urbana.
Do you remember when you were a kid and it was baseball?
I remember.
It's the old... Hey, you got a game tonight. Get your uniform out, get your stuff ready, get your cleats in your bag.
I mean, Little League, how many games you got? 20?
Well, I swear to you, we had like 8.
Right. It's a very small number.
It is. Now they have like 20.
I was going with like all-star games, all that stuff.
Oh, yeah, probably 20,
just
25.
A local Little League.
Yep, yep.
You have so few games.
You do.
And then 1 or 2 of them gets rained out. It's the worst thing in the world for a little kid.
And you know what it does? And these coaches, Chad Daly is a coach of our team, and I know all of the coaches do a wonderful job of trying to get together with the other coach and say, all right, when do you have an opening that we can reschedule this? But you know what, Jeremy? What's funny? You might reschedule this for 3 weeks from now, and it's going to rain that day.
Yep.
So, I mean, spring sports are frustrating. There's no doubt about it. And I can remember back, I think, in my high school career, I think there were 2 days.
Why don't we do it in July?
I don't. Yeah, why not?
It's too hot.
Oh, come on. They're kids, right?
Right. I mean, I remember
Andrew,
sweating my butt off.
Get out there.
Back in my day.
Heck, you know what they do during this? I memean, in the summer in July, Andrew and his buddies are running around Philos. So, I mean, they're sweating so much, it would be easy to do baseball in July. But nope, they don't do it. So we move on, and it's just frustrating.
Poor Andrew.
It's frustrating. Hey, it's time for drive time.
Feel your pain, Andrew.
It's your fault. You're the weather guy.
That's Faber.
He's gone, right? Did you hear the news?
What?
Yeah. Took another job.
You joking?
No, he's getting out of the business. We're talking over drive time.
Good for you, man.
Yeah.
It's drive time presented by Honda BMW Champaign. You just threw it on.
I'm sorry. Aaron Bennett's still there, though.
For new and
doing
used
news.
vehicles, visit your huge inventory at the corner of Neal and Burwash and Savoy, or visit them online at drivechampagne.com. Vontae, this will recap the first 2 hours of the Tay and J Show.
Well, Jeremy, we started out talking about Garth Brooks. I had a chance to talk to Garth, interviewed him for a solid 3 minutes, some of the best 3 minutes I've ever given. And then, of course, went to the concert last night, had a great time at the concert. Let's just be honest, Garth rocked Champaign-Urbana and Trisha Yearwood, by the way. But for the last 3 days, he did 4 shows in 3 days. Amazing, unbelievable performer. You and I have both seen him.
He's one of the best shows I've seen. He's one of the best showmen I've seen.
So fun. So that was what we started with, and it was worth it because that's a cool weekend to be able to talk to him and then see him perform.
What a month of April.
Yeah.
For Champaign-Urbana. I know Green Day was like in February.
Okay.
We had the marathon. You had Garth.
Unbelievable.
This town can put it together. And I give a lot of credit to the State Farm Center, Kevin Ulestad, who kind of runs that ship over there. Everybody does it. They're getting some big-time acts here. Lil Wayne was here last month.
Tom Petty's coming.
Tom Petty's on his way.
I mean, that's awesome.
I mean, these are huge acts that you're getting to State Farm Center, and that's one of the benefits of renovating that place as well, is you're getting big-time acts to come back to this place.
Big time. Let's just get Scorpions now, and I want that front row seat. Boom.
Timberlake.
Called.
Timberlake. We also talked about Illinois golf winning their Big Ten championship for the 8th time in 9 years. We talked with Mike Small in the 3 o'clock hour. And
dude just dominates.
Yeah, I mean, he's the consistency here. I mean, the players change, the results don't.
I loved your question to Mike was essentially about the rest of the Big Ten. They've dominated now that, I mean, and we're not saying they're dominating the Big Ten because the Big Ten's bad. Mike alluded to the fact that a lot of these other places have similar facilities, the same kind of building that Mike has right here. A couple of them, even Jeremy, like he said, have great golf courses. Purdue's got a wonderful golf course right there on their campus. In Illinois, there's great golf courses around here, but they don't necessarily have it on their campus.
Right.
So it's one of those situations where basically Mike Small is saying, look, everybody else has the chance to be this good. We're just this good.
Because of him.
It's because of him.
Because of him. And then he recruits guys that it's kind of like fit his system.
Yep. Yeah.
Right? And the thing about this team is it's very young, but this group is as talented as any he's had.
No doubt.
Right? I mean, all these other guys kind of come up and they become way better than what their ranking was.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Hardy and Dylan Meyer are top 20 recruits, and they're playing like it.
Yes,
Dylan Meyer is on a roll, won individual medalist honors, 7 straight individual medalist honors.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Nick Hardy's solid, and you know he turns it up every time they go to the NCAA, and he finished top 10 at the Big Ten Championship.
Oh, by the way.
Eduardo Liparelli and Giovanni Tadiotto, 2 Euro imports that kind of under the radar that are turning into 2 of their top 5 golfers, and Liparelli had a great finish to last year.
That's awesome.
Fiegels, the freshman's a top 20 kids, had a great year and a great spring. It didn't have a great tournament last week. And then Brian Baumgartner, who's a top 20 recruit, can't get into the rotation right now.
Unbelievable.
It's
unbelievable.
I'm not going to predict this team wins a national championship, but for everyone who thought it was a rebuilding year, it's never when you have Mike Small who can recruit this talent and get the most out of this talent.
Isn't it amazing? Because Mike Small can recruit, right? I mean, you could take him and put him somewhere else. He's going to go out and find guys that want to learn from a guy that has actually made money playing that sport. That's big for them. But the other thing that is equally as important, more important really, he's on a roll now. And this is a role that you hope as a coach that your program eventually gets on. When you're winning at a high level, you're bringing in recruits. Recruits want to play for you. They want to play for Illinois, and that's what Mike Small is taking advantage of right now. And here we go. I mean, the next 2 years, and I guarantee it's the next 10 if he sticks around, but the next 2 years look like a lot of fun with this team. Everybody will be back next year, but why not just get it done this year when that NCAA title's in Illinois?
Got the talent to do it.
Would be awesome.
I also gave my thoughts on Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah, you did.
Juan, you hit on it. I don't want the Bears to be the Cardinals. No offense. You guys are way better than the Bears right now.
I get what you're saying.
I don't want the Bears to be the Chiefs.
Yep.
Good team. Get to the playoffs almost every year.
Yep.
Right? That's awesome. Good for you.
Are you winning
Houston.
Yep.
Look at all those great defenders they have on that team. Have some nice other pieces.
Yep.
Don't have the quarterback.
Can't find a quarterback.
So Ryan Pace made a bold move an unpopular move, which I don't understand why it's unpopular, that he went and got a quarterback that he loves. Because what have the Bears never had?
A quarterback.
Great quarterback.
Right.
A great quarterback.
Sid Luckman.
Right. I mean, people throwing like that was he last played for the Bears 9 years before Alaska and Hawaii were states.
Wow. My dad was young back then when he was watching Sid Luckman.
That's the thing. Like,
You're right.
I have no idea if Trubisky's going to work.
No.
All you Bears fans, you have no idea. You didn't watch him play. Don't act like you know him. But just because it's unexpected. And stop with this Mike Glennon. All of a sudden you're like, well, why did they sign Mike Glennon? He's got costing all this money. He could spend it elsewhere. They have $20 million
Exactly.
still. They tried to spend on Stephon Gilmore.
And it's not guaranteed you're going to get your guy unless you've got the number one pick.
So, the trade, did they need to do it? I don't know. But Brian Pace received enough calls for the number 3 pick with teams interested in Trubisky, including the Cleveland Browns.
Exactly.
That he was saying, I'm not going to look back in 2 years and say, I could have had my franchise quarterback and Trubisky's tearing it up in Cleveland, and because of a 3rd round pick and a 4th round pick.
That I get rid of.
Because maybe you hit on one of those, 2 of those. Maybe you get 2 starters.
Yep.
But if you end up with Solomon Thomas and those 2 other starters, give me the quarterback.
Exactly.
Right? That's way more valuable to your team. This could end up being terrible.
Yep.
And Ryan Pace will be fired for it.
But
I love that we had a GM that's willing to go and say, I have this rare opportunity to get a guy I think is a franchise quarterback, and I'm not afraid to make that move. I can go get Jamal Adams. Eric Berry's not winning me a Super Bowl.
Not at all.
Right? I need the quarterback to do it. So it's bold.
It is.
It's being panned by some people around the league. But if you don't have the quarterback, it doesn't matter. So I'm happy that he's this convinced that Trubisky's the guy.
The other thing that I like what Ryan Pace did, and he did it, we actually worked with me, with my Arizona Cardinals, but you can always find a desperate team, especially the start of that 2nd round. Think about it. You get done with the 1st round. Now you've got these teams sitting there saying, all right, we have 2 guys that we really want. And Arizona was one of those. They wanted Buddha, the safety.
Yeah.
And what they did then is they said, we're going to find somebody, trade up and get them. And what did the Bears do? They added back, I think, a 4th rounder.
Recouped a couple picks.
Yeah.
3rd and 4th round.
3rd and 4th. So, I mean, it's one of those situations where I think Ryan Pace did what he feels this organization needs by going to get the quarterback. And I'm not even a Bears fan. I know that. And Jay Cutler was a good idea. It didn't work.
I do it again.
Yes.
And you gave up 2 first rounders for that. Right? But you said that's what's holding us back, and you went for a guy who had that kind of skill set.
That's exactly right.
I didn't mind when Angelo did that. That excited me. And I can tell you right now, I'm way more excited at just the prospect.
Right.
I have no idea if it's going to work out. If it doesn't, Pace is going to get fired, and the franchise is going to be bad for a couple years. But you know what? At least he's going for greatness.
Amen.
He's not going, let's just make the playoffs.
Amen.
He's not doing what the Bulls are doing. He's going, let's go get this and be great, and we need the quarterback to do it.
You've got a young quarterback. You've got a young running back. If Kevin White actually gets healthy someday, you can have boom, boom, boom.
You know what this showed, this move? That Ryan Pace is going to be there a couple years.
Right.
He's got a couple more drafts to add all these pieces.
Correct.
And he's had some nice picks in drafts. He's had some head scratchers as well. Free agency he's been okay at. So I'm not sold on Ryan Pace. But John Fox probably didn't like this move.
No, and he didn't even know about it, did he?
Well, that's the report.
Well, that's the rumor.
I know he was involved, and they went and both saw Trubisky. But I think it's saying that Ryan Pace's timeline, he's in charge.
Okay.
This isn't John Fox in charge, which was I was worried about. I think somebody else is going to be coaching Mitchell Trubisky.
That'll be interesting. That will be interesting.
We also talked about Illinois basketball recruiting. We'll talk a lot more about that the rest of this hour. But Francesco Badocci commits to Virginia over Illinois. A little bit of surprise last night.
Well, and it was interesting because his tweet was basically, well, I guess I'm a Cavalier, with a question mark. Like, well, that doesn't sound that exciting. So we don't know what happened. We're not sure because it seemed like, and I think you alluded to the fact that the Illinois coaches all thought that they had him.
Yeah.
And so all of a sudden for that to change and he goes to Virginia, which is not a bad school. They've won at a higher level than Illinois has the last few years.
He might actually fit there better.
Right.
Doesn't shoot, can't score, plays defense.
Plays defense and gets rebounds and dunks.
That's Drive Time presented by Honda BMW Champaign. For new and used vehicles, visit their huge inventory at the corner of Neal and Burwash and Savoy, or visit them online at drivechampagne.com.
All right. Your calls, your texts, 359-2255 next. We're talking Illini Hoop. It is the Tay and J Show.
The sounds of spring and the smell of flowers in the air, they all add up to Spring Green, America's neighborhood lawn care team. That lush green lawnscape is a result of a reputation earned through consistent performance. They become your favorite through quality service and professionalism. Spring Green will service and maintain your lawnscape with seeding, aeration, fertilizing, weed reduction, disease, and insect control. Now the ease and trouble-free convenience of Spring Green's professional lawn care's full program is yours at savings of 20% for new customers. It's backed by their guarantee of satisfaction. Over 32 years of satisfied customers reflect their commitment to Champaign-Urbana and the Mattoon-Charleston area. Call Spring Green at 217-359-2111 or online at spring-green.com at 217-359-2111.
A catalog of songs that have defined a generation. One of the greatest bands in music history. It's all led up to this. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, the 40th anniversary tour with very special guest Joe Walsh. May 10th, 7:30, State Farm Center in Champaign. Tickets are on sale now at statefarmcenter.com. Presented by State Farm Center.
You buy Community Credit Union for campus and community.
Bring into Double Points now through the end of May with the Illini Visa Rewards Card and the U of I Community Credit Union. Double Points are waiting for you. Now through the end of May, use your Illini Visa Rewards Card on purchases for lawn and garden, sporting goods, nurseries, and home improvement stores and score double points. Plus, you can earn an extra 1,000 bonus points when you use your Illini Visa for 20 or more transactions each month. Use those points to purchase once-in-a-lifetime trips and experiences. Not a member yet? Visit IlliniCard.org today.
Join the Prairielands Council for their 2017 Distinguished Citizens Dinner, this year honoring the Atkins family. Wednesday, May 17th at Stone Creek Golf Club. Don't miss this fun evening with heavy hors d'oeuvres and drinks, along with a wonderful program and awards presentation. Tickets for this event honoring 2017 Distinguished Citizens are on sale now. Support Scouting. $250 per person or $400 per couple. Buy tickets today by calling 531-0218. That's 531-0218.
You check things all the time, like your email every 10 seconds or your ex's Instagram. But what about checking something as important as your credit? Well, Discover makes it quick, easy, and best of all, free. Discover is now offering FICO credit scores to everyone for free, even if you're not a customer. And checking your score won't hurt your credit. We call it the Discover Credit Scorecard. And once you know your score, you should check to see if your current credit card is the best fit for you. Check your credit, compare your card. Go to discover.com/credit scorecard. Limitations apply.
Hi, it's Corey with Max Twin City Recycling. We pride ourselves on giving the area an outlet to recycle and get paid for their unwanted metals. We're taking our community focus a step further with our Recycling for a Cause program. Each month, Max Twin City will choose a different local charity to feature in an effort to raise money for those causes. Visit maxrecycling.com for a complete list of program details.
Protecting your home and family, you better have a plan. Keep them safe from harm with a home alarm from F.E. Moran. Home invasions are on the rise all across the land, but they'll think twice when they see the sign for F.E. Moran. Don't wait till it's too late, it's time to make a stand. Call 877-F.E. Moran. F.E. Moran. Alarm.
Our Stevie J Broadcasting Law Enforcement Official of the Month is Brian Malik from the Champaign County Sheriff's Department.
You always have to be keyed up. Do you have to go into a situation knowing anything can happen here and I got to be really on it?
It's always got to be in the back of your mind, but you also have to learn to go into a situation and be even-keeled and not expect the worst to happen. But it's always in the back of your mind that something could happen. But if you go in there at 100, obviously some people don't really appreciate that, and that's understandable.
Well, you can just tell by your demeanor, you really want to help folks kind of figure this out. And as one of your other deputies told me, it's, they're not having their best day.
Yeah, most people, when they call for the sheriff's office, most of the time they're having a very bad day. And you show up and you try to do your best to make their day a little better. Doesn't always work, but you're doing your best to make it happen.
Brought to you by SK Exteriors. Their website, callsktoday.com.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance? There's a tremendous price war among the major term life companies. Rates have dropped dramatically in the past few years. For example, a man age 45 non-tobacco user, $1 million of coverage, $75 per month level rate for the next 10 years. Or a man age 50 non-tobacco can obtain $500,000 of coverage for a monthly premium of only $110 per month, guaranteed not to change for the next 20 years. That's right, level rate guaranteed not to change for the next 20 years. If you're a smoker, we have great rates available for you as well. At Termbusters, we specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. If you're looking for new or replacement term life insurance, call today for a quote at 1-800-569-5440. That's 1-800-569-5440. You're probably paying more than you should. Call Termbusters, 1-800-569-5440, or visit our website at termbusters.net. Remember, 1-800-569-5440. Rates and availability may vary by state. Sample rate quotes based on preferred non-tobacco underwriting. Exam required to qualify.
Coach Mike Ditka is not just talking sports. What will he say next? Hear him here Monday and Friday mornings from 7:30 to 8 with Brother Johnny and me, Stevie J, on ESPN Radio 93.5.
I'm Jeremy Warner. This is your Sports Center update brought to you by Prairie View Landscaping. Save up to 25% off your 2017 lawn care. Just email mypvdiscount@gmail.com. That's mypvdiscount@gmail.com.
Give me 2 pina coladas. That was a good song last night.
Gotta have one for each hand.
Let's okay, go.
Set sail. Rebuilding year for Illini golf.
I don't think we're very good singers.
That doesn't happen. Illini won the Big Ten championships by 16 strokes this weekend. Their third straight Big Ten title, 8th in 9 years. Dylan Meyer became the 7th straight Illini to win individual medalist honors, winning the tournament by 1 stroke. Other Illini, Nick Hardy, Eduardo Liparelli, and Giovanni Tadiotto all placed in the top 10 as well. Illini now await their assignment for the NCAA regionals. They've won 4 straight regionals. The Illinois second baseman Michael Massey been named Big Ten Freshman of the Week. That's a second straight week he earns the honors. He hit 10 for 19 last week, including a series win at Minnesota.
Nice.
Softball was canceled yesterday, but they did split a pair of games at Wisconsin. DeJuan Smoot, the only Illini football player to get drafted over the weekend. He went in the 3rd round, 68th overall to Jacksonville. 6 other Illini signed free agent deals. Carroll Phillips joined Smoot in Jacksonville. Hardy Nickerson signed with the Bengals. Wes Lunt to the Vikings.
Okay.
Rob Bain to the Jets. And Justin Hardy and Jamel President to the Texans. NHL, the Blues now face a 2-1 deficit after a 3-1 loss to the Preds last night. Game 4 tomorrow. Tonight, the Penguins look to take a 3-0 lead on the Capitals. In the NBA, second round starts for the Cavaliers Raptors and the Spurs Rockets. On to baseball tonight, all 3 teams in action. The White Sox take on the Royals. The Cardinals send Michael Wacha against Zach Davies and the Brewers. And the Cubs send Brett Anderson against Vince Velasquez and the Phillies.
Mike Leake can't beat the Reds. He's been good against everybody else. He just can't ever beat the Reds. Hey, if you're within 10 years of retirement, thinking and planning for your golden years can seem daunting, even overwhelming. If you're wondering where to begin, Busey Investment Services and Busey Wealth Management, they're here to help you focus with some tips. How about managed taxes? Would it be better to tap taxable or tax-deferred accounts first? An advisor at Busey Wealth Management can help you develop a strategy. I've got a bubble here.
Bubble throat.
Yeah, I got rid of it. There we go. Consider all income sources. Estimate how much you and maybe your spouse's retirement plan, Social Security, other forms of income can provide monthly, and account for health care. As you age, your medical costs will rise. Consider purchasing a supplemental or long-term care insurance policy. As you prepare for retirement, these are just a few of the factors to consider, and the financial advisors at Busey Investment Services and Busey Wealth Management will take the time to understand you and create a sound investment plan for your goals. Call 1-800-67-BUSEY or visit Busey.com today.
It is Tay and J Show. He's Tay. I'm Jeremy Warner. It's been hard to keep up with all the Illinois basketball
doubt.
scholarship offers going out today. A lot in 2018.
What is going
from all over the country, it seems like.
I interrupted you, as I always do, because I need to work for other networks. Like, I can't stand watching shows that they interrupt everybody, and then I come on here and do it.
By the way, I know you didn't watch a lot of the NFL draft.
I didn't.
It's kind of jumped the shark a little bit.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Harry, did you watch any of the okay?
He knows exactly. Wait, before you guys get going, Susie Colbert, I like her.
Sneaky hot.
She is. There's something.
I'm not afraid to throw that out there.
I tweeted that out.
Yeah, she's great at what she does. Dude.
I guess it's Joe Namath and I in the running. I got him with age. He might have me money-wise.
Yeah.
Susie Colbert.
Yeah.
Need to have her on the show.
Maybe. Harry, Philly did well, though. Philly represented well.
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah, you're a big Eagles fan. From Philly originally, right? Yeah, they showed out well. You guys get into it. You sing the Fly Eagles Fly a little too much, but
the thing is if you are from Philadelphia, if you're an Eagles fan, there's no such thing as too much. I know you guys are all, that's just getting obnoxious. We don't have any championships in the Super Bowl era. We need to have something to get pumped about.
It's kind of like the Go Cubs Go crap, and now it's like, all right, you've won your World Series, get rid of that song.
I think it's cool the draft has come, this kind of event, but when it got to day 3, and they send to these places where they announce the picks, like there's a scuba diver in Jacksonville, there's an orangutan at the Indy Zoo.
I did not see this.
Oh, it's a little much, Harry. And I love the NFL draft. I just want to hear guys breaking it down. I want to hear Mike Mayock. I want to hear Mel Kiper and Todd. Those are the guys. I want to talk football.
Yes.
This has become so overproduced, but that's generally what happens when there's money.
That's what happens.
Yeah. Really what the draft should be and what it used to be is you have the first round, they're going through it the whole time. I'm fine with the whole first round, one day. It's the round everyone's been looking forward to for months. Second day, second round and third round. The third day should really just be the guys talking about those first 3 rounds.
I agree.
And then, with the little ticker at the bottom that says Dallas picks.
I would rather hear this. I've thought about this before, Harry, and that's perfect. I would rather hear them come on in day 3 and say, all right, let's start with Arizona. Here's what they did with their first 3 picks. Here's how I think they helped themselves. Here's what they still need, and kind of do all that. I don't need a breakdown of our 6th round guy.
Yeah.
Now, if I was that 6th round guy, I'd want them talking about me, I guess. But still, I love your point. I think that's exactly what I would want to see.
And like Jeremy was saying, with the orangutan picking a player, that's just a little absurd.
That's getting a little out of hand.
But I did like, I don't know if you were referring to this as far as jumping the shark. I loved Drew Pearson coming on, and the Eagles fans relentlessly booing him. And I know, again with the Fly Eagles Fly song, Brian Westbrook and Brian Dawkins come on stage, and Dawkins starts singing the Eagles song.
Nice.
And it was...
That's good fun.
Oh my goodness!
Is fun.
Yeah, that's good fun. But when you get to when you just want to hear about the pick and all that, and recap with the first, second round, what they've addressed and all that, and all you're seeing is an orangutan hit a screen with a name on it. It's like, oh.
I tell you what's scary about when they bring out the former players. That makes me feel old. No. I mean, Thurman Thomas came out, and he just looked old, and I'm like, oh, no.
Tony Baselli.
All
skinny.
Isn't that funny? Jim Hart, SIU got a nice little Jim Hart came out, and they said from Southern Illinois University, Jim Hart, who was the, a quarterback in the NFL for 20-some years.
What'd you think of your Eagles draft, Harry?
At the time, I wasn't crazy about them taking Barnett, because I hadn't looked a lot into him. I was thinking,
Did you and Austin break that down Friday? What do he think?
He liked it.
It's weird we got 2 interns that are Eagles fans.
They're both Eagles
fans. The thing everyone's saying is, we broke Reggie White's college record. And, that's college.
Yeah.
It's like when you look at the all-time leading receivers in college and you don't know any of their names.
Right.
And, it's not like they're all Division III guys. They're guys who went to good schools, maybe just played for 4 years, were the only target on their team.
Exactly.
But, I like the Eagles picks. At the time, I wanted them to take Foster or the guy who's the other guy, Alabama, Allen.
Oh, Allen,
Jonathan
yeah.
Allen. I thought these guys are, they're big time players at the best school in the nation. But you look afterwards, you see Foster has his character issues,
right.
And Allen has the arthritis.
Both had injury issues.
It is funny, like Rashad Johnson was from Alabama. I remember when they made that pick, I'm like, well, he's from Alabama. He must be good. He's got to be good. I always said, my team, I wanted him to draft as many SEC players as possible. They're all fast.
Well, and the Bears did not do any of that. They took some Division II guys, FCS guys.
Thank you, Harry.
Hey, I don't mind that as long as they're really, really good players. So we'll find out in a couple of years, I guess.
We'll find out. Well, listen, 359-2255 if you want to weigh in. We have talked a little bit about it all day, kind of teased you with regards to Illinois basketball.
And by the way, the men's basketball staff, including Underwood, Antigua, Coleman, and Jamal Walker, will all be available to the media tomorrow in the 3 o'clock hour line. So I might need to call Carpin for that first hour.
That's fine.
Tomorrow, but it sounds like all those guys will be available. It's a busy time for them. They've been out on the trail for the 2 evaluation periods that have happened, and they've offered it feels like a dozen 2018 kids over the last couple days. But obviously 2017, they're trying to add to this class, and they have a huge need in the front court. But boy, that back court, adding Mark Smith to that, when you have over the next couple years Tejon Lucas, Trent Frazier, Jalen Coleman-Lands, Mark Smith, DeMonte Williams, Aaron Jordan right now still. So that's a lot of depth at that guard position. And they're going to keep recruiting guards, people. 2018 especially.
Oh, yeah.
When you got a couple really good players in the state, 3 really good players in the state, Nayo Dosunmu, Tim Finke, and Taylor Horton-Tucker, who all have Illinois offers, those guys are going to get recruited over. There's going to be a lot of competition there, but there's a huge need in the front court.
When does it become too much at guards? And I'm not asking this. I am one guy that, listen, if you want to throw 3 guards out on that court at all times, I'm happy with it. I love watching that as a fan. I think it's effective.
In this system, and we'll probably talk to Underwood about it tomorrow, he has 3 guards on the court almost all the time.
All the time.
And maybe 4.
Okay. I love it then.
Right? So you're going to play that kind of pace, that kind of game, but you do need a lot of front court help. But boy, you can't get enough ball handlers, scorers, guys who can get to people's grill, and that's what he loves to do on defense.
It's a good problem to have when a guy is looking at your roster and saying, I don't know if I want to go there. There's a lot of guys in my way. That's a good problem to have.
Yes, and that's a concern with Dosunmu, right? I think Illinois is doing really well there.
Okay.
But that guy wants the ball in his hands. But do I think Tejon Lucas is going to stop Dosunmu from getting the ball or getting playing time?
No. Not at all. Not when you're a 5-star.
So there's going to be a lot of competition. Okay. There's going to be a lot of competition here, and people might have to take smaller roles than they originally imagined, and maybe in a year or 2 there's some transfers.
There you go.
But I'd rather have that kind of program where good players aren't getting enough touches.
Are we okay? When do I start to worry? This seems to be our shtick now.
You get Mark Smith. Now you got to worry about something.
Now I got to worry about big men and wings. Yeah. Remember when Illinois was all wings?
Yeah.
That's like
now you got a lot of ball handlers.
You do. You've got a lot of that. So you've got 3 scholarships left for 2017. I know I read on IlliniInquirer.com.
Ding.
Derek Piper's piece today, and not his piece, but it was good. Just filling in essentially on all the kids they're recruiting. And there was a kid from Lithuania or something. And these guys are all, maybe some of them could reclassify to 17. Explain that a little bit for listeners that don't quite understand that.
Yeah, they're looking at some kids especially who come from overseas and have enough credits.
Okay.
Or they're playing in Canada, like this Ignas Brazdeikis, who is a top 100 player in the class of 2018.
Iggy.
He also, which is his nickname, he's playing in Canada now.
Oh, that's awesome. Hey, I tweeted that back to Pipes over the weekend.
6'7", 220.
Okay.
Plays in Canada. He's a lefty.
Done.
He's a ridiculously good player.
If you tell me he lived 1 year in Indiana, then you've got the perfect recruit there.
He's a ridiculously good player, but he has the ability to reclassify to 2017 because he has enough credits.
Okay.
To go right away and enroll in school. It's just like a junior in high school who can enroll early in college, right? If you graduate, you got enough. So he could reclassify, and Illinois is selling him on that.
Okay.
And if you watch his film, he's a do-it-all forward. And Illinois has a huge need for a scorer at the 3 or 4 spot. And he can handle, he can shoot, he can attack the basket. He's got ridiculous skill that would fit really well in this program, and Illinois is selling him on that. Or if he sticks in 2018, I think he's going to blow up and get some big-time offers But Illinois is trying to sell him, you're going to play right away.
Right.
You're going to play a huge role a year earlier than you would anywhere else.
Okay.
So they're selling him on that. And, there's this Justin Minaya kid, 6'5" wing. He's the son of former Mets general manager Omar Minaya.
Oh, cool.
Athletic wing, can shoot it a little bit. He's another kid they're looking at. So they're looking at that kind of athletic wing.
Fair enough.
One, a guy who can score on the wing. They also need a big man.
Yeah,
you
they
just
do.
need
They
a
do.
big man. They can play and they can rebound, especially in the offensive glass without a big man. And they can force turnovers on defense, which can minimize a little bit of what a big man does on defense. But at some point, you need a rim protector.
You do.
And Jeremiah Tillman still makes all the sense in the world.
Yes.
But we have no idea what's going on there.
Crazy.
I don't think Illinois knows what's going on.
Crazy.
There. So he hasn't signed with Mizzou. It seemed like that was going to be a done deal.
Yeah. You thought once he decommitted, you thought Konzo had all the momentum. That thing would be a done deal, and now here we are. And then Kansas, he still hasn't taken a trip to Kansas.
And Kansas is full of scholarships. After taking Charlie Moore, they're full.
Oh, they're done.
North Carolina's kind of lurking there.
Unbelievable.
But nothing has happened there, really. And I know he's had academic concerns, and I know Lauren Tate's brought this up as well. It seemed like that was taken care of. Now, maybe something changed.
Okay.
But, Jeremiah, it's been an odd recruitment the entire time, and nothing shocked me with this thing. But it is pretty surprising that, 3 weeks after he asked for his release, and nothing stopping him from signing.
Nothing. Yeah, it's just quiet. It's weird. It's a dead period right now, right? It's a quiet period. The only way coaches can talk to a recruit, I believe, is if he makes contact. I think. I don't lay your money on me understanding recruiting, but I know that coaches are not allowed right now to go see players. So a guy like Jeremiah Tillman, if you're wondering why Brad Underwood is not down there every day talking to him.
They can reach out to him later this week.
Okay, that'll be later this week. So it's kind of that quiet period right now, and I'm sure that's a little unnerving if you're Brad Underwood and you're looking at your scholarship or your roster going, we got to fill 3 more spots. I need to be talking to people.
Yeah, and they've had the last couple of weeks to go out and evaluate these guys, though. So they've had a lot of time to go out and figure out what they want, and that's what's going to be interesting about 2018 is you're kind of seeing all these offers, and you just follow me on Twitter. I've been retweeting them. But we had a texter early. What about a possible lack of scholarships for 2018? If Bragg and Tillman commit and any others, would we have enough for Tim Finke and the rest of the 18 class? That's getting ahead of yourselves. I mean, Bragg and Tillman, I don't think Bragg's going to come here.
Okay.
And I don't think it's a Bragg decision.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
I said it right away when he transferred.
You did.
I said no thanks.
Okay.
And I know people were like, whoa, why? He's really there's a lot of red flags there.
Okay,
and now,
fair enough.
If Josh Whitman and Brad Underwood recruited it and they went out and they said, okay, we're going to sign off on this guy, give him a chance, of course, because the talent is tantalizing and he's what you need in a big man, athletic, rim protector, gets putbacks. Now, he would sit out a year, but he would fit what you need for 2 years after that.
Totally.
But if you're building a culture.
I agree. And
it's still a concern for me with Jeremiah Tillman.
Yep.
There's some red flags in that recruit.
Well, Antigua being hired as a recruiter, as an assistant, I mean.
But, I mean, there's that, but I'm just talking about a culture of players.
I know what you're saying.
Do I want that guy around my program every day?
Right, that's exactly right.
And we talk about this with guys who could potentially transfer out, DJ Williams and Aaron Jordan. And, I know a lot of people are tantalized by DJ Williams, but I don't know if he brings it every day.
Okay.
I know Aaron Jordan every day is going to show up, work hard, play his role.
Something was happening. That's why DJ didn't play.
Right. Aaron Jordan's going to do that every day. And I don't mind having that kid in my program.
Not at all.
Right? Now, you need some good influences in your program. And what got John Gross in a little bit of trouble, he never set his culture.
No.
Because he got all these transfers, really didn't help him in that area. Darius Paul really hurt you in that area because he wasn't putting his team first when he was making all these bad decisions.
That's correct.
Aaron Cosby made some bad decisions. Ravonte Rice even made some bad decisions, even though he produced. So that culture was never set. And I think that's what's important. And that's where Mark Smith comes in.
Yes.
He's bigger than just a good player. Now, the most important thing is he's a great player.
Mm-hmm.
But he also is just that culture changer. He made himself into this kind of player, and he's just a winner.
Yeah.
He's been a winner at whatever he's done, and that's what excites me about that addition. Trent Frazier, how excited he is, how, he's got a chip on his shoulder. He's a state champion.
Right.
I love that. You've needed those kind of players in your program. Taylor Horton Tucker in 2018. That excites me.
6'4" kid, yep.
Io DeSumo,
Yes.
if you can get it, Tim Finke. Like, all of these kids have those intangibles and have made themselves so much better and, have played on winning teams. That excites me about those guys.
359-2255. What is the best case scenario in your mind for Illinois basketball to fill out the 17 roster? If you could fill out these final three, now that you have Mark Smith, now that you know your backcourt is loaded and ready to roll.
If that Ignis kid wants to reclassify, I want him.
That would be good.
I'm just look for his tape. I mean, it is really impressive.
Okay.
I think that's a long-term kid who could be like an NBA kind of talent.
Maybe the kid from Illinois State, McIntosh.
I would like a fifth-year transfer. I think a fifth-year transfer in the front court would really help just in the short term. And then Jeremiah Tillman.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm concerned about him, but he fits exactly what you need.
I mean,
I have a lot of doubt. Like, I don't know him well enough. I don't know, that dynamic well enough. But do you want to bring him back after all this? I have questions about that.
I know.
But when you talk about player, he fits exactly what you need. He's not a player who's going to carry you, and I think that's great now that he wouldn't. If he came here, he wouldn't have to worry about that.
Exactly.
But when you talk about rebounding, defense, putbacks on off, like, he's got a little bit of a mid-range game. I mean, he could be great in 2 years.
And he could look at this roster right now and say, I'm going to get plenty of playing time.
Yes.
So it's a natural marriage here.
He'd play an immediate role. The guy I would kind of compare him to, and you're going to see him a lot more than Thomas Bryant staying in the draft, which I don't understand.
I don't either.
Maybe he just wants to go pro and make money, so good for him. But Deron Davis at Indiana, not a big-time player for them. But he's got a potential like Jeremiah Tillman where he could be a really, really good Big Ten big man.
Huge. That'd be huge. Well, there you go. That's solid. With those three, that would round it out. And I'm with you. I think a fifth-year transfer would be good as kind of a bigger body underneath, a guy that's kind of been through the wars, if you will, of a season.
Yeah, and another scholarship could open up here where I'm not too worried about taking 2 4-year guys.
Okay.
That you'd still have enough scholarships because I don't think you're going to land Finke and Horton Tucker.
Got it.
In 2018, I think you're going to land one of those guys. And then Dosunmu. And you need another big man in that next class. But, we worry about these scholarship numbers, and Illini fans over the years, you just learn that they take care of themselves.
They do.
And there's just always attrition, and a lot of it's unexpected.
Yep.
So
359-2255. If you've got a question on Illinois basketball or anything, you can text us on the Chief Bauer text line or call us on the Jupiters at the Crossing phone line. It is the Tay and J Show.
Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you have to do is call Matex Heating and Cooling to take advantage of Train's Weather Any Season sale. Choose between special financing for 6 years or special trade-in allowances on qualifying Train systems. Call 355-9700 or visit us online at mattexservice.com for more information. It's hard to stop a train. Any season, any weather. Matex Heating and Cooling, servicing East Central Illinois.
Subject to credit approval. Call for details.
Beacon Insurance and your local independent agent are committed to providing the best coverage options and the best service possible. They're available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at beaconinsurance.com and on social media. Check them out on Facebook at facebook.com/Beacon Insurance. It's a great way to learn more about insurance for your auto, home, life, or business. You'll stay up to date with important announcements. Plus, they'll throw in a few fun facts along the way. For beyond the expected information, follow Beacon Insurance on Facebook today.
Check out the new BMW of Champaign. It's not like the old Twin City. They have new on-site local ownership since 2013, along with a new state-of-the-art facility. With a Customer First Service Award winner for 2015, BMW of Champaign does business your way. Yes, they have tons of cars. Yes, they'll get you what you want. Yes, they discount, deal, and even pick up and deliver. So stop in, ask for Ben, and give BMW of Champaign a look. BMW of Champaign at the corner of Neal and Burwash in Savoy.
Hey, this is Brad again with Kramer Siding and Window Company, and for over 60 years, we've been providing worry-free home improvements. If you've thought about either siding, windows, maybe you need to replace that roof, how How about a deck, a pergola, awnings? We also have the 4-season sunrooms and screen rooms, or the gutter helmet. If any of those home improvements are in your near future, call us right now at Kramer Siding or stop by our beautiful showroom at 708 North Country Fair Drive.
Flooring Surfaces is your premier source for new flooring in Central Illinois. You don't need to wander poorly lit aisles looking for help or load a new floor into a cart to check out. You need an inviting space filled with exciting new floors and a trained professional to guide you to the perfect choice for your home or project. Flooring Surfaces can find the hardwood, carpet, vinyl, or tile floor that is right for you. With a beautiful showroom and over 1 million square feet of flooring in stock. See us today at 401 East Mercury Drive in Champaign.
The world at your feet.
Spring is here, and there's no better place to spring into the season than Willow Pond Golf Course in Rantoul. Golf every day for $25 with a cart, and seniors can go Monday through Friday with a cart for just $20. Not a golfer? No worries. The 19th hole bar and grill has great food and drinks, a great sports atmosphere, live video gaming, and the new full swing golf simulator. Call and schedule a tee time today at 893-9000. That's 893-9000.
Got a question? Talk to our experts now at StevieJay.com. Experts are there, ready to answer your questions for free. Home improvement questions? Our experts from Kramer Siding and Windows can help. Thinking you could use some extra help with landscaping? Think Country Arbors Nursery. Experts are online, waiting to talk to you at StevieJay.com. Talk to Dr. Shu and our experts from West Main Dental to keep your smile bright. They are the Stevie J Broadcasting experts. Ask an expert today at StevieJay.com. That's StevieJay.com.
Hey, it's me, your old AC. We need to talk, man. I am out of hair. Trust me, it's not going to get much better. I need to be replaced. Call the experts and get a new air conditioner that will save up to 50% on energy bills. Go ahead, do it. I'll be right here. Whew.
At Chief Bauer Service Experts, save up to $4,000 on a new home comfort system. Call 866-EXPERTS or visit chiefbauer.com. For expert service guaranteed.
Call 866-EXPERTS.
Hey Cardinals fans, the San Francisco Giants are coming to St. Louis the weekend of May 19th, 20th, and 21st. That weekend is loaded with great giveaways. Friday night, it's the adult 1987 red mesh batting practice jersey. Saturday, the Purina Cardinals Pet Bowl. And Sunday, the adult rhinestone cap. That's May 19th, 20th, and 21st. The Cards and Giants. Tickets available at cardinals.com/promotions. There's only one Cardinals baseball.
For the last 5 years, Rock's Place in St. Joseph has become the neighborhood sports bar and grill for a lot of folks in the area. Rock's Place is known for their delicious burgers, and they also have great daily food and drink specials. Plus, Rock's has plenty of TVs, so you can keep tabs on the Cubs and Cardinals all summer long. While you're there, press your luck on one of Melody Music's video gaming machines. For delicious food, cold drinks, and good company, make it Rock's Place, 101 North Main Street in St. Joseph. Find them on Facebook. That's ROCHS in St. Joseph.
When you're heading home, Tay and J are on your way talking sports. Weekday afternoons 3 to 6 here on ESPN Radio 93.5.
Tay and J Show, ESPN Radio 93.5. We welcome Jeremy Warner back from vacation.
Hello.
You got over your sickness? Everybody over the sickness?
I mean, you could hear I'm a little congested still. The kid's a little congested.
Yeah.
Waking up at night crying because he's got snot in his nose.
So on the actual flight,
yeah.
And I say this because the worst experience of my life that hasn't been about a tooth, because I've had some bad experiences with teeth, but the worst thing I ever did is I flew into Manhattan one time, into LaGuardia. I don't think that's in Manhattan, but you get my point.
Yeah.
And I had a head cold from hell.
Yeah.
And
it's the worst.
On the way down, on the descend, I swear, Jeremy, I looked at Gene and I'm like, if you had an axe right now and could cut my arm off, I would rather have that pain than what's in my head right now, because I felt like it was I felt my head was gonna blow up.
Now, when we were going up on our way home from Florida, I was really congested.
Yes.
And I hadn't drank any water.
Oh, that's not
that
good.
morning.
Yeah.
I drank a coffee at the airport, but I was like so involved with a kid, I didn't get water.
Right.
We start going up, and Tiff's feeding the baby, and she's concerned about him, but she's like in my space because she needs to with the kid.
Sure.
And then I got a guy next to me, so I have to lean forward a little bit.
Oh, no.
But I just get this rush of dizziness.
Oh, yeah.
Like lightheadedness.
Yes.
And I start sweating. Like, I'm not a big
Where's the barf bag?
I'm not a big sweater.
Right.
Like, when I'm just sitting there. And I'm like, what is wrong with me?
That is the worst, right?
And for 10, 15 minutes.
It's your body just telling you this isn't right.
I can't look at my wife and be like, I'm feeling terrible right now because she's got a baby. Like, we're more concerned about that.
We are so babies ourselves.
No, we are. So they got like these Belvita things they give out.
Right.
So I ate a couple of those just to get something. But it took the longest time for them to get the drinks out. All I needed was water. I got a water down. I was fine.
Then you were all right. Yeah,
I was fine.
no.
But for like 20 minutes, I'm sitting there like heaved forward, just sweating. And I'm thinking this guy next to me thinks I got to be crazy.
Yeah, he's probably like, who the heck is this dude? Well, and I was worried about Torrin because I know with at least we can do something about it.
Yeah.
A baby can't do anything. An 8-month-old baby.
Feeding the baby is the best thing.
That was a good move.
Because that gets them like moving their jaw and things like that.
That was a good move, yeah, because they need to start. Yeah. So, no, that's huge.
He was asleep through 2 landings. We had 3 landings.
He really?
He was sleeping through 2 of them.
Well, good for him.
He didn't. That was nice.
No crying on the airplane?
He did.
Just a little bit?
He did, especially going to Florida.
Okay.
Especially when he got diverted to Tampa.
Well, yeah, he knew.
He's like, come on.
Yeah, I mean,
let's just get there.
He's like, I want to see Grandma.
But on the plane ride home, he was phenomenal.
Awesome.
The guy next to us was great. He had a couple of new grandkids, so he was playing with Torrin.
That's
Torrin's
always
like grabbing
huge.
at him. So
Yeah, that's always
huge. It was really
huge.
nice. He calmed our nerves a little bit as new parents.
You do.
On our first one, like we're fretting more than other people.
Yeah.
But we did have a couple of people move around us, and we're like, sorry.
Okay, like I told you, I am.
Or this one guy. We're going through security, and we got all this stuff, right?
Oh,
we got a stroller, we got a baby bag, all this stuff. And this guy, like, they kept going through on our stroller, and they had to take it out and whatever, so it took a little time. This guy's looking at me like, what the heck are you doing?
You are the worst person in the world.
Like, we got a kid, man. Sorry, you're going to get to your gate 2 minutes later.
You can't have that beer before you fly out. Oh, that is pathetic. At one point, I wanted to start a business. And here's one thing I want to do, an entrepreneurial business. Do you know when you go down to Florida, like for instance, you went down to Fort Myers. Now, a little different for you is that you guys have a condo down there, right? Your mom?
Yeah, our family friend.
Or the family friend. Okay, so she probably has chairs for the beach that she keeps there, right?
Yes.
So when I go to Florida and mom's there for a month, we don't have those. And the place that we stay does not have those. So I know you can rent these at certain places that you're staying. You can rent whatever to go sit on the beach. I don't need to lay down on a beach. I just want to sit there and have a beer and with my feet in the water. So I'm like, those little chairs, you can get them at Walgreens or whatever for like $12. I want to start that to where you can just rent a chair. You know how they rent a bike?
Yeah.
Maybe they already have this.
You'd be like an ice cream man going down the...
Exactly. And you know what? There'd be some guy with a beer gut like me going, I'll take one of those, man. How much are they?
Yeah.
I want to do that. But the other thing I wanted to do, because I did the travel experience with 2 kids in strollers, I wanted to do rent a stroller. So you get into the airport and like say you and Tiff say, all right, we need to rent a stroller for a week.
Yeah.
Boom, done. You rent a stroller?
Don't got to worry about it breaking.
Nope.
Like somebody broke one of the things on our stroller.
I don't know. I always think of these things, and then somebody else will invent it and be down on the beach.
I should
I'll
just
still be
not
here.
travel with the kids. That's probably what we should do.
And you're going to Vegas this weekend.
Yeah, but that's a daddy trip.
Oh, boy.
That's a bachelor party for Uncle Brad.
This is going to be fun.
Yeah.
I want to know what those shenanigans were like when that weekend's over.
Hey, tomorrow we'll hear from some of the Illini assistant coaches.
Awesome.
Brad Underwood's supposed to meet with the media as well, so hopefully get that sound for you tomorrow.
Okay.
Also supposed to talk with Dan Durkin from The Athletic about the Bears draft and what that means for the future of that organization. We've got a lot more coming for you. Hopefully Dylan Meyer joins us in studio
And
as
then
well.
the Thursday, if you softball fans, we're going to have Nicole Evans and Taylor Edwards. Taylor, of course, is from Arcola, so a local girl on the Illini softball team. They're going to come into the studio on Thursday. That'll be fun.
Thanks to our guests today, Mike Small and Mike Claiborne. If you missed any of the show, get the podcast at ESPNCU.com or find us on iTunes. That's all powered by GTPS Insurance. Thanks to Harry Black for intern today.
Yep, and sorry to Harry Black for not being drafted in the 2017 NFL Draft. I thought there was a chance, man. Cardinal baseball's next. It's the Tay and J Show.
Join Crisis Nursery Friday, June 2nd for our annual dinner and auction at the iHotel and Conference Center in Champaign. Enjoy a great dinner, live and silent auction items, good drinks, and familiar faces while supporting a great cause. Crisis Nursery creates an island of safety dedicated to the prevention of child abuse and neglect by providing 24-hour emergency care for children and support to strengthen families. Go to crisisnursery.net to get more information, sponsor this event, or buy tickets. That's crisisnursery.net.
Join the Prairielands Council for their 2017 Distinguished Citizens Dinner, this year honoring the Atkins family. Wednesday, May 17th at Stone Creek Golf Club. Don't miss this fun evening with heavy hors d'oeuvres and drinks, along with a wonderful program and awards presentation. Tickets for this event honoring 2017 Distinguished Citizens are on sale now. Support Scouting. $250 per person or $400 per couple. Buy tickets today by calling 531-0218. That's 531-0218.
Don't miss the 48th annual Kappa Kappa Gamma Flower Sale, with net proceeds this year benefiting Cunningham Children's Home. The sale will take place May 4th through the 6th at the Indian Acres Swim Club, 1 Arrow Road in Champaign. The annual sale includes geraniums and many other types of annuals in a variety of colors, patio gardens, hanging baskets, herbs, potted plants, and foliage. Don't miss this sale May 4th from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m., May 5th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., and May 6th from 9 a.m. to noon. It's the 48th annual Kappa Kappa Gamma Flower Sale, May 4th through the 6th at the Indian Acres Swim Club. Renew, energize, and donate. Join Keller Williams Realty of Champaign, the Real Estate Center of Illinois, for their annual Red Day, Thursday, May 11th, the company's annual day of service dedicated to renewing, energizing, and donating to their local communities. As part of the Red Day effort, Keller Williams Associates will spend the day with See You at Home, building new sheds, painting, light remodeling, and landscaping at multiple locations offered by See You at Home. For more information about Red Day, visit kwchampagneredday.com. That's kwchampagneredday.com. Go to kwchampagneredday.com.
You're listening to WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Blue the Dog here for Propane. Making the rounds with my owner, the Propane Man, has allowed me to see a lot. I may just be a simple dog. I didn't attend the elite boarding kennels, and you'll never see me on Barking with the Stars. But I do know that propane is the smart fuel that lets millions of Americans live where they want and how they want. It's clean, reliable, and powers modern appliances from tankless water heaters to high-efficiency furnaces. Learn more at proudlypropane.com.
Here's a little ditty about that John Deere mower deck that mows faster, better. It's not how fast you mow, my friends, it's how well you mow fast. If you just mow fast but your yard looks bad, then you got a lot of ugly grass. You need a John Deere to take care of your yard. You need a Z-Track Z3 45R. It's not how fast you mow, my friends, it's how well you mow fast.